Oh shit, people are following. Hey everybody. We're playing toys.
Hello.
It's toys hours.
We're gonna play with guys.
We're gonna make the Barbies kiss and you all have to watch.
Yup.
welcome. Yeah, let me know if the stream's being funny, how visuals are, how audio is. To a degree, there's not much I can do if Twitch is just buffering on its own, but like I can adjust people's audio to a degree. I can move my microphone around.
Getting louder.
Yeah.
Always.
We can always be louder. I'm holding back so much not doing sound crimes. I hope you're all grateful.
Teehee.
Well, hello. Before we get started, I figure run us through the rules real quick, like remind y'all how to behave out here. It's been a bit since I streamed. It's been a bit since we played toys. Oh yeah, I feel it missed. There was a lot of rain, a lot of windstorms around my neck of the woods this past week, and let me tell you, trying to use computer and watch live stream in these conditions. Manuel.
Yeah, it's nasty.
You're my tiger.
Thank you, Bon.
Thank you, Bon. Alright, rules. Y'all already had to agree to the rules when you came into the stream, but in case it's been a while, or you just need a refresher, or just so that I'm doing my due diligence and have no restraint when I hit you with a hammer. Rule number 1, if you're a bigot, I get to hit you with a big hammer. No tolerance policy out here, but there's gay people in this stream. Come on now. Rule number 2, don't tell me what to do, don't tell my friends what to do, don't tell any what to do. I will ask for help explicitly if I feel I need it. Otherwise, consider your advice unneeded and unwarranted. I'll get you with a hammer. Rule number 3, I don't know how this would apply to this particular stream, but don't spoil things? How would you spoil the comics that we wrote? I don't know how you're going to do that, but don't somehow.
People can spoil or backseat anything.
That's true.
I've seen it.
People will find a way, but don't, or I'll get you with a hammer. Rule number 4, try to stay relatively on topic. Obviously, this is going to be a little bit of a podcast stream, a little bit of chatting, so you can interrupt with a question or be like, "Hey, I want to know about this," and we'll, hopefully see it, try to answer. But try not to suddenly, like, if the chat is a little quiet, go, "Hey everyone, what's your favorite kind of milkshake?" I'll get you with a hammer for that. Don't do that. It's distracting. We both got ADHD out here. Rule number 5. This today, a little more than usual, these streams aren't strictly 18 plus. They are not a closed space, but we're adults. We're talking with other adults. We're talking about possibly adult topics. I'll get into it when we get into it, but both of these, like, comics that we've been working on are kind of like teening up kind of audiences. Something you'd see on Adult Swim, whatever. It's not for babies.
Yeah, if you're allowed to watch Adult Swim, it'll be fine.
Yeah. We're not out here immediately bringing up the whole pussy on screen, but, like, don't be a baby in here, okay? Get you with a hammer.
It's not good.
Rule number 6. The usual refrain, there's much pain in the world, but not in this room. We know it's bad out there. Again, this stream is gay, people. But we're not here to talk about that right now. We're here to try to provide, like, little bit of a lighter space for folks who need it, a little bit of a reprieve from all that, so try to keep that in mind with your topics of conversation. Maybe don't go into a random streamer's chat and talk about how bad your life is. That's not the time or the space or the people. We're here to give each other a little bit of reprieve. Rule number 7, if the vibes are off, I get you with a hammer. All right. Anything else before start? If you want to support us out here, go pay Cricket your money, okay? You can get the links, hit friends.
I love that kind of stuff.
you
I love that stuff.
Literally, if you like what you hear today about Heartbreak Gulch and Heartbreak Coded, Cricket's got Heartbreak Gulch stuff on his shops. You can buy it. Eddie can live in your house. He's on my monitor right now, and I have to look at him with my eyes. Oh shit, I just noticed the one on the stream too. I forgot. There's 2 of him. Yeah.
There's many Eddies out there, and he could be yours.
I got that right one right on my monitor right now. I got the left one at work to remind me to be a good boy, and the one on the right at home to remind me to let loose, baby.
Yippee!
Also, thank you, Miss. Thank you, Sergeant Mist. Sergeant of our hearts.
Thank you.
I think, unless you got anything you want to cover, boss, I think we're good to start.
No, I'm good.
Alright. In case, I'm gonna get the music going so that you can tell us how that compares to our voices. We are listening to the Lisa soundtrack today because I want to.
It's gonna be a real roulette.
Yeah, I literally set that shit to shuffle. We're in this together, babies.
Hell yeah. I love it. I don't have to listen to it.
Cricket's safe. Yeah, let me know how the music is compared to our voices so that you can still hear us talking but also enjoy the tunes.
We feel strongly about the Lisa soundtrack. If you follow me on
yes.
socials, you know why.
666 Chop Kill Deluxe. When it hits, I feel no pain.
Yeah. Okay.
Literally, like, unprompted, out of nowhere, Jay was messaging me the other day, like, I've been listening to the Lisa soundtrack. It's like abstract art. I wanna let it change my word view. Also, Chop Kill Deluxe just fucks unironically.
It's so good.
It's so good.
The Bond says it's good right now.
Yippee! Alright, that means it's time for me to pull up OBS and pull up our fun visuals for today. Where is it? Here
Stop
it is.
scratching the carpet.
Hey, man.
Hi, animal.
What the hell's Heartbreak coded?
Hey, can you stream me your feed?
Oh, shit. Yeah, hang on. Let me do that. Let me actually do that real quick before we get started.
Hey, man.
Hey, man. What the hell?
Missed, thank you. My links.
Yay! Get the links. Get the links. Eddie could live in your home. Oh, this track goes off. Alright. Hopefully that's is.
Yes.
Yippee!
I see him.
Oh, fuck yeah, the air horns!
Her, whatever.
I love this track. I'm unironically just jamming. So what the fuck is
I
Heartbreak
love
coded?
Kill Shot Deluxe. What is Heartbreak coded?
Surely we can explain this in a quick, succinct way, right? Just go right into it. Wrong, we have to talk about 2 different comics that don't exist first.
What's up with all these mustaches?
What's up with all these mustaches? They're gay, that's what.
That's a lot of mustaches.
So what's villain coded? You guys might have heard me talk about villain coded. You might have heard friends of the stream talk about villain coded. That's because it's a comic I'm working on and it doesn't exist yet because comics are really hard, you guys. Do you know how hard it is to make a comic? And people do it every day, like a bunch of masochists. They just do this shit.
It's really scary.
It's really scary. Anyway, Villain Coded takes place in a world not entirely unlike our own. Modern-ish day, America-ish, city suburbs-ish. Doesn't matter where it is. It's just out there, and superheroes are there. So the way it works out there is superheroes, they're not replacing, like, cops or shit like that. They're working kind of in tandem and in parallel with them. Mostly, you know, larger scale threats, supervillains. It's some comic book shit. Y'all have heard of comic books.
I've read 2.
I read 1 or 2 of them. So yeah, the superheroes are out there fighting supervillains, and the bigger heroes especially, they're kind of serving like a celebrity role. Like, they're on cereal boxes, they're doing PSAs in the schools, they're getting sponsorships, you're gonna see them in magazines. They kind of got that kind of role in society and whatnot. And, you know, they're highly regulated because a lot of them got superpowers, and they don't necessarily want Superman throwing Lex Luthor through a building every other weekend, so there's a lot of regulations around, like, how they operate. They've got legal teams, they've got PR, they are... It's very corporate, especially for the bigger and more modern superheroes. Didn't always be like that. It used to be a little more ragtag, a little more vigilante work, but now it's been very, like, ingrained into society and regulated in such a way.
I love it.
Yeah. So that's what's going on there.
Bureaucracy is great for superhero work.
And it's never a problem. There hasn't been any comic books about superheroes
It's
talking
never
about
a problem.
bureaucracy being a problem. But yeah, you might have heard me mention that there's some superpowers in play, and these are very much kind of like kitchen sink with it. There's not like, oh, here are the exact rules in the universe of like what type of superpowers exist through it. Nah, they're coming from all different kind of... We got every origin story, literally just like, not even like theoretical characters, but characters I either have already developed or am going to develop. You've got like random mutation, like spectacular human type of things. You got like X-Men mutants, you got Wonder Woman style literal demigods, you got industrial accidents, you got people from space, you got wizards. It's all in there.
Hell yes.
Yeah, we already talked about, like, they're mostly targeted supervillains, large-scale threats. Most of the mainstream heroes, let's be clear here, they're usually not killing guys, but that's not, like, a moral thing for most of them. That's an optics thing. Are you gonna sign off on funding for Superman for another year if like, you saw him murder 3 guys on the way to the polling place? No, of course not. These guys got marketing. These guys got PR. They're thinking about the optics, and the optics of killing a man in broad daylight every day aren't so good. So most of them are.
I'm just imagining the Notes app apology on like a superhero's like brand Twitter.
It has to have happened. You know, one of them got out a ukulele. God, this is a tangent, but like you and I have talked about this, I'm so constantly enamored by it. I just like to sit and think about the social media in this world.
We have literally said me and our friend Bon are on villain twit talking about how hot the villains are.
Yeah, and we'll get to that. Oh my god, I want to see the Captain Armstrong Twitter that's so clearly run by like an unpaid 19-year-old social media intern. But yeah, so that's going on. There are anti-heroes. This is something that I'm still, like, working on and isn't necessarily a huge part of the comic, but essentially those are the Black Ops. Those are the guys who, they are not on the cereal boxes, but, like, they're sending them out. They're maybe not, they are turning a man into a red smear on the pavement. And, you know, that's getting maybe covered up a little bit, if folks can help it. On Militant talking about Dynamo and Bulk get kissing, baby! Oh my god, you know their shit's going crazy! Oh. But yeah, so that's how superheroes kind of operate, and they've been a thing for at least like a few generations worth of like heroes. Why is this song so loud? Hang on. Buddy, you're really just going for those swells. Well, that's fine. Villain Zoe ukulele apology. I need to sneak Zoe in somewhere now. I need that. I need that to be real.
Zoe needs to exist in every universe. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a universal constant. We'll get to Zoe if you don't know who Zoe is. Don't you worry. When 2 villains break up in a building I guarantee that's happened. That's real. That's the energy. But yeah, there's been like a few generations worth of superheroes being like a mainstream thing in society, and because of that, there's also been like some legacy families that have emerged. Like, you know, someone's dad was a hero back in like the early someone's dad was a hero back in like the 40s, and now they're out there. Shit
yes.
like Universal's on stint. That's good. Alright. So we've talked enough about heroes. This comic isn't about the heroes. This is about the supervillains, baby. We're gay people here. We're talking about the villains.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, very similar to the superheroes. They're not like completely displacing like quote-unquote mundane. Oh shit, is that Eddie?
What? Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
Don't look at me. Oh, okay.
I literally just noticed him. It's fine. But yeah, they're not replacing mundane crimes. Like you still got people committing petty robberies. You still probably have like organized crime to a degree, but also there's supervillains around in parallel to that. And some of them are probably like working with more like mundane crime, like particularly like a lot of mobs probably work with supervillains. You got your Wilson Fisks out there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and very similar to heroes, they are kind of ranging the gamut of like powers or not powers. More villains than superheroes kind of operate with no powers. Like most superheroes have at least something, whereas villains you'll sometimes just get like a really smart guy with a gun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, you got everything from that to like evil wizard from space. You got the whole gamut. It's varying a lot depending on like who the guy is and where's they come from and what they got going on. And like, I don't think I made a bullet point of this, but like there's also like a huge range of kind of like goals for supervillains in this universe. Like some of them, they're literally just like trying to get through the day. They're going and robbing the CVS so they have enough money to like pay their mortgage and get groceries. Other people are trying to like destroy the earth with a meteor so that the dinosaur people can rule or whatever. You got it, the whole range. You got like everything from world takeover to just make it to Tuesday. So
We
yeah.
love it.
Also not dissimilar from Heroes, there is like some level of organization and regulation, but in very different ways. So like, if say you're an up and coming villain and like, you know, you've been doing pretty well for yourself, but like there's a lot of like there's just a lot to do in terms of like maintenance. Like, are you really gonna go and clean the death laser every day? Are you going to be the one checking to make sure, like, are you personally going to be counting the bullets? That's a lot of work as you're getting bigger in the villain sphere. So no, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go down to your local mook union and you're gonna draft up some contracts, set a pay rate under union regulations, and you're gonna get a few guys to work for you. And you know, it's not pretty work, it's not the safest work, but it's certainly safer than, you know, just going off and doing unorganized crime, as it were. You've got some protections that you wouldn't have otherwise, and you're making a paycheck. Maybe you're making the paycheck reducing some people to a fine red mist, but you know, people do that in like the government and they're fine. No one blinks an eye.
It ain't much, but it's dishonest work.
Exactly. So yeah, you got things like that. And you know, the true evil are the villains that are hiring non-union. We all know this.
Oh.
It's easier to break in if you know you're a little guy and you want to get into the villain line of work, but you don't got protection, and it's gonna be hard on you if you're ever caught doing that.
Yo.
But you know, if all you want is to break in, that's gonna be a little easier than waiting for the unions to get back to you, you know? We gotta do what we gotta do out here to get through the day. But yeah, there's also like some, you know how like in real life you'll have like the bad side of town or whatever? They got that, but for like villains where it's like, okay, we all know like the mooks are living in this like apartment building. We all know that like Dr. Zod or whoever the hell lives over in this neck of the woods. But we're just gonna turn a blind eye. Like, if they're there, if they're not actively causing trouble while they're there, then we ain't gonna go in there. So there's neighborhoods like that where it's like, it's an open secret that there's a supervillain living at 2A, but like, if the supervillain isn't wheeling the death laser out of 2A, you ain't gonna do nothing about it. You're just gonna pretend you didn't see nothing, and no one's gonna send a superhero breaking through your wall at 3 a.m.
Not my business.
None of my business. And there's also, like, there's a lot of laws for, like, people around villains as well. Like, say you're a nice young lady, and, you know, you've been dating a guy, and, you know, he's getting into some sketchy work, and you're not so sure about it anymore. You can go and get protections if this guy is, like, a proven, like, supervillain at large. They'll help you, like, essentially like a bigger, badder restraining order. You can get you and your loved ones out of that kind of risk. So there's stuff like that set up. On the flip side though, if say, you know, maybe you did some things when you were young, maybe you helped fire off a few death lasers, but you know, you had to get groceries that week, but you don't want to do that no more. You don't want to hurt people. It's gonna be hard for you to get out of that, because like, they don't necessarily protect the civilian identities of supervillains the way they do heroes. So like, you're on a registry that people can look up. Folks probably aren't gonna be super jazzed about giving you a job. They're gonna see that when you're applying for housing. It's tough to get back. And because of that, a lot of ex-supervillains get pressured into becoming anti-heroes, because at least then the government is gonna make sure you have a house.
Yep.
So that's kind of the world we're dealing with. What's next?
I love it. It's awesome. It reminds me of LT Gray a little bit.
I gotta watch LT Gray again for like research. I gotta do like that and Venture
We
Bros.
will watch it.
We gotta.
Yeah.
After Metalocalypse.
After Metalocalypse.
After our
Metalocalypse is research for Heartbreak Gulch.
Yeah, baby. Hey, this is a tangent. Can Squiscar just be in Heartbreak Gulch unchanged? Just in the background somewhere?
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. Squiscar exists in Heartbreak Gulch.
He's just out there. Mist, I love that rent-lowering villain neighbor.
Yes! It's what you need.
It's what you need. But yeah, now it looks like it's time for us to get into some specifics individuals. We've talked about the world, let's get into the characters.
Yes!
First off, the baby. The rude little baby.
Yes!
So this is Minnie, and Minnie's like ostensibly the protagonist slash POV kind of character. She's the one that you kind of enter the story with, and the story's about a lot of people, but she's kind of like the inciting action, as it were. So Minnie just turned 13, and she is actually, you know how I was talking about superhero legacy families? She is part of one of those. Her dad is Captain Armstrong II, and her grandpa was the original Captain Armstrong. Her grandmother was the famous Lady Armstrong. So she is third generation superhero and being trained accordingly. They are getting her ready to become a superhero herself when she grows up. And here's the thing about Minnie, she fucking hates that. She doesn't want no part of that. She thinks it's stupid. She has no interest in it. She does not want to be doing this. This is not what she wants out of her life. So she's not feeling super great about this. She's very like, she's kind of a brat. There's no other nicer way to put it. She's kind of a brat. She's a brat.
She's feeling very 13 years old about it.
She is extremely 13 years old. She is maybe the most 13 years old anyone has ever been, and she is 100% positive she knows everything and is right about everything, and everyone around her is so stupid and should just do everything she says because she's practically a grown-up, you guys.
Yeah, she's 13.
She's 13. Yeah, she's a very smart...
Guys, she's literally 13.
She's literally 13, you guys. But yeah, she's a very smart kid. She's too smart for her own good in a lot of ways. She's very, like, academically talented despite the fact that it's kind of hard to keep super involved in school when you're constantly getting pulled out to do, like, press tours with your dad. So yeah, she likes video games. She likes going on the internet. She rollerblades. She really likes animals. She's kind of like the one kid in her class who's been looking after like the class pet. Hates hero shit. Does not like it. She's constantly having to like train and go on press tours and like be dolled up for marketing stuff, and she's not a fan of any of that. She wants to be going to after-school clubs and, like, raising rats and, like, arguing on forums with people twice her age. That's what she wants out of life. She also... That's an important point I almost forgot to bring up. So far, she hasn't had any superpowers become, like, really obvious. Like, you know, sometimes they become evident very early, other times later in life, other times you just don't get them. So far... There's no sign of, like, what she's got going on, if anything. She's just kind of normal right now. She's DVD normal.
She's DVD normal.
Yeah. But yeah, so the inciting incident of the comic is she decides she is done with the whole hero thing. She doesn't want to do any of this anymore. So she decides she's gonna go for another side of the family business. And that's where we get to everyone loves him. This old man, yup!
Oh,
it's too
my
early.
Hamster!
It's too early for me to joke about calling him Suck Armstrong. This is Buck Armstrong. He is the invincible bulkhead. He is Minnie's uncle. He's her dad's older brother. Also part of the Legacy Hero family accordingly. But he doesn't do hero shit. Uncle Buck is a supervillain. He has been a supervillain since his mid-20s. He is approaching 50 now, and he has been on that beat for 25 years, just out there. So Buck does have superpowers. Buck, he's called the Invincible Bulkhead, not because he's actually invincible, unfortunately for him, but he's kind of got like a Wolverine thing going on. He's like super, super durable, and he heals from injuries much faster than the average person. So like, you throw that boy around, he'll get banged up a little bit, but he'll be back to normal, or, well, normal. Close enough to in like a day. He's DVD normal. Look at him. Isn't this the most DVD normal man you've ever seen? He loves.
Yeah, I know that how normal he is.
He loves emoting with his voice and making eye contact. He's so good at it.
Those are his two favorite activities.
Those are his two favorite activities. Buck lost out on the successor title to his younger brother, so little brother Leo is his name, became the new Captain Armstrong, and Buck decided he was going to burn the world down. He is now a supervillain. He's not actually a particularly threatening supervillain. He falls more into the lines of like he's robbing the bank and getting groceries. He's more that type of supervillain. Just because he's so, like, known as, like, an Armstrong kid, he's much more notorious than his actual actions would suggest. He's all bark and no bite, for the most part.
Aww.
But yeah, he kind of has, like, the best way to describe it is he has kind of a wrestling heel persona. When he's working, he's very over the top. He's really playing up how big and bad and evil he is, even though he's really kind of a very anxious person. He's not a good fighter. He's really not a good fighter. That's part of why he is not a superhero, is because despite his durability, he is no good at fighting. So, yeah, he is very much all bluster and kind of playing up this role, even though off the clock he's very reserved, very anxious, not a particularly super emotive or aggressive guy. Really, he's just scared. He's scared of anything. This boy is scared. Please help him.
He's making it work.
He's making it work. I don't know if I actually...
He's doing what he set out to do, though.
He
Big F-U to the family.
Oh, he sure is. Like, that is something
awesome.
that Minnie's family is still, like, reckoning with. Is, like, now, anytime Captain Armstrong and, like, the Armstrong family comes up, they also have to deal with... And also the other brother, who's the supervillain, the Invincible Bulkhead. Remember him? He's also part of that family. Like... No matter what they do, that's always going to be like a footnote in their family legacy.
Yep.
Which is exactly what he set out to do. So yeah, something I don't think I actually mentioned or got a picture up of at all, which maybe I'll do that on a break or something, is Buck, because he's not a particularly good fighter, he operates using a big mech that he built into his shitbox truck.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's stomping around in his big Transformers robot to cause a scene. Again, the all bark. So that's what he's doing. What else? Oh yeah, he's gay. He's a closeted gay man.
What?
I know, surprising. He looks so heterosexual.
Look at that. Suck Armstrong.
Suck Armstrong, yup.
Yup. That's what we call him.
And speaking of very heterosexual looking men, hi Davey. Here's our resident. Yeah, man. Here's our resident fruit. This is Davey. Davey
fully turned away from my computer.
We're all feeling normal about
I
Davey.
hate this guy.
I hate this guy.
I hate this guy.
So Davey is
Tell me about Davey.
another supervillain. He's a little newer to the scene than Buck is. He's been operating maybe like little over a decade, I want to say. He also does not have superpowers. He is a former civilian. Not a lot of info about where he was before he started doing villain shit, but we know that he was a mechanic and a handyman before that, and just one day he decided, you know what, I bet I could make a decent living doing some supervillain shit. So he started doing some supervillain shit. A lot of
Hell yeah.
a lot of robberies, a lot of fencing stolen materials for profit, things like that. Despite don't get me wrong, look at that sweet face. He is a charmer. He is a very personable person. He loves people. He's friendly. He is also significantly more dangerous in his operation than Buck is. Like, this guy is the muscle.
Hell yeah, man.
This guy's the muscle of the crew.
Get in there.
Yeah. He will punch you out. He is getting in there. He's got a big mech arm that he uses. He's already
I love his arm.
His arm is good, and you don't have to draw it, but everyone keeps drawing it.
I love to draw the arm.
Yeah, I didn't put a picture of the arm in here either. I'll get a picture of the arm later also.
I'm gonna step away for 1 minute. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no sweat. So
you can keep going.
Okay. So Davy, he's already like a kickboxer. He's already kind of a brawler even before like the supervillain stuff. So yeah, he's getting in there. He's beating the shit out of people. He is the muscle of this particular duo. What else? So he and Buck met kind of as Davy was getting a little bit more notorious, getting some more jobs. So they were kind of like, they had a little bit of a rivals to lovers thing happen to them. They kept running into each other on jobs, flirting a little bit, and then machinations happened that they were, I don't have to be coy about this. Davey lost his fucking arm, making sure Buck didn't get killed. So Buck was like, oh fuck, kind of squirreled him away to recover, and while that was happening, they kind of got to know each other a little bit more as people. They decided they wanted to keep working together. They decided they are both gay. Davey's a bisexual man, so he was like, he was ready frame one. He saw them tits and was like, okay, yeah, would. Yeah, Buck is the support tank, Davey's the DPS. That's a good way of putting it. So yeah, so they started dating and like working together publicly about 7 years ago at the time the comic starts, and the fact that they are dating is not like explicitly public knowledge. Like, it's probably at least a little bit an open secret. Like, that's something that
there's me and Bon on villain Twitter,
exactly,
making theories about it.
We only talked about this a little bit. We already talked about heroes are very much mainstream celebrities. There's not as much of that for villains, but definitely there's like an underground like fan scene, like
oh yeah,
like probably more akin to something like wrestling or true crime fandom, depending on like how bad these guys are. But there's people making zines of the Invincible Bulkhead.
Oh yeah.
So like
very similar to Heartbreak Gulch, we'll get into.
Which we'll get into. But yeah, so while there's definitely people who have been making some thinking, making some assumptions, they're not like out there in public on their heist, like, and we are lovers, by the way. Like Buck is still extremely in the closet publicly, even though I mean it's probably obvious to a certain subset of people. So yeah. Publicly, they are just, like, a couple of them who started working together one day and now do most of their work together. Privately, they are in a committed 7-year relationship. They live together, they love each other very much. But yeah.
Do you think they've kissed?
I don't know, maybe.
I know that they've had sex, but do you think they've kissed?
No, that probably is, like, the conversation around the... They've definitely fucked nasty, but
obviously, but have they kissed?
But do you think they've held each other tender afterwards?
Okay.
So these three are kind of like our main protagonists, is Minnie and her uncle and this weird guy that lives with her uncle, I guess? Who is this guy?
Cool roommate.
His cool roommate. Some other guys worth noting, because, you know, bit of a big world, bit of an ensemble cast. Guys come in as they're needed, but there's a few that I highlighted here for the sake of this primer. This will be all on the test, by the way. I hope you're all taking notes. Some other guys I know.
Fuck, I need a notebook.
So these are Minnie's parents. These are Captain Armstrong and Acrobet, a couple of superheroes of the current generation. Leo, aka second Captain Armstrong, is the second Captain Armstrong. He's Buck's younger brother. He is the opposite of both Minnie and Buck in that he is all in on the hero thing. Like, that is central to his personality and identity. That is, like, everything to him. He is obsessed with it. He is constantly, like, working out and trading and, like, doing marketing, and he is just 100% in on this, and he really wants Minnie to, like, be as passionate about it as he is. It is really important to him that Minnie, like, comes around and succeeds him and, like, gains as much from this as he's gained from it. That is his entire, like, reason to be. And then Betty, she is of the industrial accident power subset. She had an incident at an internship when she was a young college student and developed not spider powers. We're not allowed to call them spider powers. That's bad for PR. People, we did focus testing and people think spiders are icky. We're not allowed to call it spider powers. A little
scary for the kids.
Yeah. She's an acrobat. She can do all these beautiful flips and, like, fly on these invisible strings, and it's elegant and beautiful. And it doesn't matter where she's getting the strings. It doesn't matter that she has spinnerets on every limb.
Just don't worry about it.
Just don't worry about it. So that's her deal, and she is very new to, like, the superhero world. Like, she was a civilian her whole life, got these powers very suddenly, and is still, for a while, was still learning to deal with them. She got together with Leo very shortly after she started kind of entering the superhero sphere, and so kind of relied on him to give her the what for about, like, oh god, what do I do? How does this work? What's the play here? She knows that he has been in this literally since, like, before he was born. And very much relies on him in that way. She's a very sweet lady. She enjoys superheroism in that she really cares about, like, helping people, making a difference, and, like, using her capabilities for the greater good. She's a sweet little lady. She's just a little bit in over her head a lot of the time, especially as, like, suddenly being part of a big legacy hero family. And, you know, having a 13-year-old is hard, especially when you're a working parent. Yeah. And she's very young. Like, she's in, like, her early 30s and has a 13-year-old. She was a young mom.
Oh.
Yeah. Betty's in a little over her head sometimes. But she's a sweet lady. She's trying her best. Who else have we got here? We got two very opposite folks here.
Fuck yes.
Everyone loves them. Everyone loves them. No matter how you identify gender-wise, you're gay for them. Dr. Mallory Practice. We don't know their real name. I hope to God that's not their real name. It can't be their real name, right? You can't be a mad scientist and your birth name is Dr. Malpractice.
I love Malpractice so much.
We love Malpractice.
And the character.
Okay, so Dr. Malpractice is the resident mad scientist. They kind of live out in the same... oh god, the soundtracks. Actually, you know what? We're about due, I think, for a quick 3-minute break. How about we take a 3-minute break and then we'll get into Malpractice and I'll make the music play again? Alright, I'm going to swap us over to BRB and run the ad real quick so that we don't get pre-roll interruptions, and we will be right back. Muted.
Back. Oh.
Anything happen?
Oh, fuck. Anyway, malpractice.
Malpractice. Oh shit. I hope it ain't buffering too badly for folks. I don't know if it's on me or not.
Uh-oh. I guess you'll have to watch the VOD.
Yeah. I will try to upload the VOD pretty much immediately after. Most VODs that are not 12 hours are easy to upload immediately.
Yep.
But sometimes they're 12 hours and 45 minutes, and it turns out that's 45 minutes past what YouTube will let you upload these days. So you just have to deal with that, and everyone keeps asking you about it, and you have to deal with that too. And sometimes people are really rude about it, and you start cracking jokes about that to your friends. Anyway.
Sometimes people go into the comment sections of a stream that you were on, and get really mad that it's not the Great God Grove stream.
And you have to remind them
and then
how
you
to
get,
talk
and then you
to
get
people.
sad about it.
We won't harp on that too much, but malpractice.
Be nice to me.
Literally be nice to Cricket or I'll get you. I have a hammer.
I'm literally nice.
He's literally nice. Dr. Malpractice, they're literally nice. Oh, fuck
They're
the music
nice.
also. It just stopped being in a playlist? What the?
Oh.
What a fun...
That's it.
What a fun thing for that to do. Well, I'm playing Hilltop Deluxe again then. I could do anything.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, just decided to go to the next video in the playlist, but have it not be in the playlist anymore.
Oh. I love YouTube.
How does Mal feel about butch women? They're gay for them. Butch women are gay for Dr. Malpractice. That's how they feel. I think Dr.
Bitches love
Malpractice gets a lot.
malpractice.
I think Dr. Malpractice gets around is my answer.
We need to keep malpractice and Zeki away from each other.
We literally
Anyway.
do. That's like a fatal combination.
This is gonna be scary.
Yeah.
Something's gonna happen and I don't want to be there for it.
I don't want to find out. It's not good what it will be.
Anyway.
Anyway.
No.
So they're the local mad scientists. They've kind of set up shop in the same general area where Buck and Davy's hideout is, and they decidedly do not operate under normal legal constraints no more. Haven't for some time now.
What?
So their main field of research is actually superpowers. They want to figure out why do some people get them? Can you induce them? Can you replicate them? Can you bend them to your godly whims? Things like that. And as part of that, they're willing to pay for various materials. They are willing to supply various materials if you're willing to pay the right price. They don't particularly care who they're working for, so long as you're giving them the cash for their work. Which, you know, makes a lot of people not trust them so good, to be perfectly honest with you. They don't really got proper allegiance to no one, except the almighty dollar and their own work.
You mean that malpractice sucks to work for?
What? Couldn't be.
What?
That can't be the case. So, Buck and Davy very reluctantly work with them sometimes. They'll go to them to get, like, chemicals, what they need for the mech, or they'll fence some stuff that they stole to them if they really need the cash. They don't much like working for them, but, you know, you gotta eat. Gotta keep the mech moving, so
You know
sometimes
how
they
it
gotta,
is out here.
yeah, you gotta grit your teeth about it sometimes. The funny thing about Dr. Practice is they adore Minnie. They are obsessed with her. They think she's great, and they are very willing to serve a kind of mentorship role for her, which Minnie's all about, because one, this is a scary, cool, evil person, and she's all about that, and two, Minnie's actually really interested in the sciences. She really likes chemistry, she really likes biology, she was kind of into that at school, and so Dr. Practice is all about that shit. That's kind of like their whole field is bioengineering and things of that sort, so Minnie's real interested in the work that
Evil
they're doing.
geniuses love Minnie.
Evil geniuses love Minnie! Evil geniuses and also white. It's kind of the opposite of that, if I'm being quite honest. I
She's
say
an
with
evil
love in my
dumbass.
heart.
Yeah.
Calling white an evil genius would be like calling a junkyard dog an evil genius. Like, I don't know,
Yep.
man. I think it just bit you.
She's like a wild animal. She's not good or evil. Anyway.
Exactly. On the complete opposite side of that, we also have Cody Deer, also, or better known, honestly, as Golden Boy. This is Superman. This is our Superman. He fell to Earth as a falling star, as a little baby. He was raised by a humble community. He is all ideals and, like, genuine belief in the good of humanity and the protection of the vulnerable. All these very, very classical, very idealistic kind of hero things. He used to be kind of the boy wonder sidekick for much older superhero long since retired named Silver. See, literally, did I really name that man Silver Fox? Whatever.
You really did. I think about it often.
And let me tell you,
awesome.
he is.
Ugh. Love it.
I gotta finalize his design. Anyway, so So Cody used to work for him. He was very much like a classical superhero, very kind of like, not quite gruff, but very kind of like taciturn. Very like, just there to like fly in, do the work that needed to be done and fly. I don't know if he actually literally flies. I'll figure that out. The point is he did the work that needed to be done, helped the people who needed the help, and wasn't there to like make a bunch of quips or sell cereal or nothing like that. He was just there to do some good and get out. And Cody really like took that to heart and tries to do the same thing. But the world has changed a lot, so people mostly see poor Golden Boy as kind of a joke.
Aww.
So he actually is often working against Buck and Davy, because here's the thing about Invincible, Bulkhead, and Dynamo. I might have mentioned to you earlier, they're mostly just trying to get like groceries and shit. They're small potatoes when it comes to actual threat level. The only reason that people are still talking about them is because Buck is the Armstrong kid.
Yep.
So most of the superheroes ain't bothering with them. That's small beans. That's small potatoes. They got Dr. Zod or whoever was trying to blow up the planet again to deal with. So poor Cody's really the only one going out and dealing with them, because he genuinely thinks in his heart and mind, he's like, I need to stop them from hurting vulnerable people, and also maybe if I just keep like getting out there and like I'm face to face with them and making sure that they see that there's no benefit to their evil doing, maybe one day they'll finally turn over a new leaf and they'll live an honest life. Aww. And I can help them. And then they punch him with their big mech again.
Aww. He's trying his best.
He's genuinely trying his best. And everyone laughs at him for it. Yeah. He's kind of like a midway between like a Superman type and like a shonen hero, like a Naruto like he's not very bright. He's solving most of his problems with punches, but he genuinely does like believe in the good of the world and like using his powers to like protect people who are vulnerable.
I want him to kind of sound like Silver the Hedgehog, please.
No, that's absolutely the vibe. He should sound like Silver the Hedgehog. That's completely correct.
Hell yes.
I love Cody. He's a big, beautiful boy. He is huge. I'll maybe, you know what? Once we finish up the presentation, I'll maybe pull up my clip folder of like character references and show some of those off. Cause then,
oh hell yeah.
Yeah, then we can see like Davy's big arm and like Cody's big. Oh my god, Miss, that's definitely is on villain Twitter.
No, yeah.
Alright. Ooh, we got some fun ones next. I think this is my second to last side character slide. We got the Junkyard Queens and Scuttlebutt, who I haven't talked a lot about because I'm still kind of futzing with a design for them, but I love Scuttlebutt. So we got Harmony, Melody, and Major, the Junkyard Queens. I think their original character concept was actually, I don't remember the exact, chain of events, but I know it came out of, like, a half-joking conversation with, JPG, shouts out, guy of all time. We were joking one day that it would be really funny if Buck's, like, only real, like, his only friends outside of, like, Davy, who, you know, obviously Davy, but we mentioned Buck's not the best at talking to people. I don't have to dance around it. Buck has autism, and he doesn't know he has autism, but he has autism. He's not good at talking to people. We love that boy. But yeah. So Buck's not exactly the most people person type of person. But Jay and I were joking that it would be really funny if his only real, like, friends outside Davy at the start of the comic that he doesn't really know are his friends because he's Buck were just the most drop-dead gorgeous women you have ever seen in your life, and he doesn't know that they're the most drop-dead gorgeous women you've ever seen in your life because he's Buck and he's a gay man.
I love him.
He just has no perception that he's friends with a bunch of, like, level 10 hotties.
This happens to older gay men.
This happens! But yeah, and so I don't remember if them working at the junkyard was like during that or came after as I was figuring out like how Buck knew them. But the point is they run the junkyard that Buck and Davy live kind of near. So I should have gotten out my setting sketches. But basically where Buck and Davy's hideout is in kind of like middle of nowhere, like former industrial warehouse kind of district. Just a lot of like unused land and like kind of abandoned rotting factory buildings because they're just like they're in that kind of limbo where it'd be too expensive to fix them up to actually like function again, but it would also be too expensive to tear them down, so they're just kind of like sitting there unused, which makes them prime villain hideout material. So Buck and Davy are in one of those. Dr. Practice operates out of another. There's probably some other, like, miscellaneous villains scattered there. And the one part of that area that is actually still an legitimate operating business is the junkyard, where the junkyard queens work. They're a trio of beautiful young lesbians. They are the polyamorous weed-smoking lesbians, and yes, they smoke weed.
Yes!
Oh, yeah. So they work at the junkyard. They've worked there since they were teenagers and met Buck back then. And they really just adore him. Like, he's kind of like the crotchety old uncle that lives in the area. And so, as part of, like, their work at the junkyard, they also kind of, like, consider themselves the stewards of the area. They're making sure that, like, the authorities don't come sniffing around at anybody. They're making sure that no one is, like, stirring up trouble for the other people in the area. They're making sure that Buck and Davy are, like, supplied up with whatever, like, junk they find, etc. So that's kind of their role. And I cannot emphasize enough again, they are so smoking hot and they are all fucking each other. Minnie feels really normal about them, and she's not going to confront why. And then we've got Scuttlebutt, who is also operating out of the area. And again, I haven't talked a lot about them just because I haven't finalized a design. But they are an any pronouns baddie. And they are a whistleblower and pirate radio host whose whole job is kind of like getting out information to supervillains. Like, hey, there's gonna be a shipment of this at this time if you want to go and rob this place, or hey, they are starting to surveil this area more. They've got like some anti-heroes out there, please proceed with caution. Reporting on things like that to make sure that people stay in the know and can make like informed risk decisions about their villainy. They actually started out doing this work, or at least becoming more prevalent in doing this work, around the same time that Davy was kind of like getting some notoriety as the Dynamo. So Davy was kind of one of the first major-ish supervillains really like listening to their reports and relying on them, and that kind of, you know, gave them a little bit of what do you call it? What is the word? Gave them some credibility, as it were.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, because Davy knows them, Buck sort of knows them, but the thing about them is that no one knows their real identity because, you know, they're leaking sensitive information. The hero kind of the hero kind of lobby does not like what they're doing and would very much like them to stop doing that. And so they're kind of keeping their personal details under tight lock and key, because otherwise they are in some very real danger.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no one really knows much about them. They wear this big cool kind of TV head mask kind of deal, so that you can't tell nothing about like what they look like, body type, facial features, voice, nothing. All you got is, well, they're Scuttlebutt and they've got information that's been proved accurate repeatedly.
Hell yeah.
So yeah. They're very cool. They're a character who doesn't show up a lot, but I really, really like and want to kind of clean up their design some.
Very cool concept. I love it.
Yeah, I love Scuttlebutt. And then our last little side character guys I got here. Nemo's actually a character who turns up much later, but, you know, important enough to discuss. So Nemo is also just so 13 years old. Just so deeply 13 years old.
So 13.
And she is kind of a foil to Minnie in that, while Minnie is the child of a superhero legacy family that has decided fuck that and wants to become a supervillain, Nemo is the kid of a retired hero and villain that both kind of got disgraced in their respective fields when they got together. And Nemo really wants to be a superhero. Nemo wants to make a difference in the world and, like, protect people. And that's not very easy when your dad is a supervillain that is still, like, on some lists, even if he don't do nothing no more. So she's kind of, like, having the opposite of struggle of she really would just love to do anything to be a superhero and is having those doors shut off to her, and is really kind of frustrated when she crosses paths with Minnie, who has that opportunity and is throwing it away to do crimes for no good reason. So they have a little bit of tension between them. Yeah. Also, as kind of a foil to Minnie, who hasn't really had any powers become obvious, Nemo does have very obvious powers. She's got full-on, like, dark sorcery powers. She's kind of got, like, a Raven Team Titans thing going on, which also doesn't help the superhero thing, because how do you market that? How do you market this? How do you put this on a cereal box? How's this sell shoes?
And also, like, that's so cool and edgy, and we know that Minnie loves cool and edgy.
Minnie loves cool and edgy.
Ugh.
Minnie is probably also really frustrated because, like, look at the shit this girl can do, and you want to be a lame-ass superhero? You want to sell cereal? You want to be in...
That should have been me!
That should have been me! So yeah, they have a little bit of tension.
I love them.
They're so good. I love their stupid fucking 13-year-olds dynamic. It's awesome. But yeah, and last kind of guys of note that everyone is constantly obsessed with asking about, and I'm like, hey,
people are obsessed with asking about these rats.
People love the rats. So these are Minnie's rats, Cookie and Cream. Cookie is the one she starts the comic with. Cookie is the class pet at Minnie's school, and when the comic starts, it's like, it's spring break. Minnie is the only one there that really, like, gives a shit, so she, like, yeah, I'll take the rat home and watch her over spring break, since, like, no one's gonna be at the school, that's fine. And, by coincidence, that also ends up being the time when Minnie decides to run away from home. And so she takes the rat. So she kind of accidentally stole the rat.
Hell yeah.
And people keep asking about this. People do not believe me, but I'll tell you once again, Cookie is a normal rat. She's just a rat. Her
Cookie's a rat.
The biggest thing she's got going for her, she's really good at pushing buttons. The class taught her to, like, push a button for a treat. So that's her one thing she's got going for her, is that she can push a button really good.
Hell yeah. Good for her.
Good for Cookie. Cookie's a good rat. So yeah, and then technically this is a spoiler, but, like, it's a rat. I can tell you guys about the spoiler rat. So eventually, Practice decides that they're going to be the coolest uncle the world has ever seen, and give Minnie a rat without telling her fucking uncles. So Minnie gets one of Practice's old lab rats that they were kind of, like, studying and testing on, and so Cream is a former lab rat who has been given psychic powers thanks to Practice's experiments, which is super cool and fun, and I'm sure won't cause anyone any kind of problems for the rest of their lives.
No.
Yeah. And, you know, it's important for rats to have, like, companionship. They actually recommend getting, like, 2 to 3 rats at a time if you're getting rats, so they can like socialize with each other. So it's very good for Cookie and Cream to have each other. Like, Sweet Cookie was a solo rat for much too long.
Oh, Cookie.
Gay rats. Anyway.
Gay rats.
So what's this fucking comic about?
You tell me.
That's a great question. So the comic, as I mentioned, it starts with Minnie running away from home. She basically, how does it happen? Basically, her spring break starts, and like first day of her parents get called out to do like superhero stuff. And you know, that happens a lot to Minnie. They'll be out of the house for like days at a time because they're stopping a meteor or whatever the fuck it is they do. And so Minnie's like, okay, so my parents are gone, and I'm frustrated, and I don't have school, and they're gonna be gone at least a few days. So she decides she's gonna take action and just kind of fucking up and go. And so she tracks down Buck, figures out where he's hiding out, and just shows up like, hey, you're gonna apprentice me. And he's like, no the fuck I'm not. I must emphasize, this is the first time they have ever met, because Buck was like fully like estranged from the family long before Minnie was born. He has been a persona non grata to the Armstrong family for 25 years, and Minnie is 13.
At least it's very clear that they're related.
They could not be more related. Like, sometimes I worry that like I made them look too alike and people are gonna think it's like a twist that Buck's actually her dad or something. No, they just have a strong family resemblance.
It's awesome.
So they meet for the first time. And Minnie refuses to leave. Buck is freaked the fuck out. Davy's trying to keep the peace about it. And then the whole rest of the comic is just kind of like, slice of life sounds too light for what Villain Coded's got going on, but I couldn't think of a better way to describe it. It's just very like, okay, we're gonna look in on like a day in their lives and like,
hell yeah,
what these characters are doing. It's very like personality, character heavy, and you know, you'll see them like getting to know each other and like growing as people and whatever. But, you know, they're doing it while they're, like, robbing banks and shit.
Yes.
So that's kind of the whole, like, basis of the comic. I have a pretty, like, close to final outline written in terms of, like, beat for beat, chapter to chapter, as it were, with a few asterisks of, like, oh, I want to add something like this here, and also, like, I have the end quotation marks of the comic written, but I realized that there's a lot of stuff I wanted to explore after that like main plot wraps up, so it might just be like the main plot happens and then I keep doing stuff until I feel like not doing stuff anymore.
What the hell, yeah. You never know, you might discover an additional arc.
Exactly.
While developing.
Exactly. Yeah. It's been so something that I don't know if a lot of people realize about Villain Code, which is funny because it's a complete contrast to what is the case, as we'll get into with Heartbreak Gulch, is Villain Coded is pretty new in the grand scheme of things. Like, I think I did the first sketches of Buck and Davy and Minnie at my old job in, like, late 2021, early 2022. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, it is, because they become very fully formed in that time, which is crazy, because, like, the last comic I was working on, which I still would like to do at some point, that one I was working on off and on since, like, oh my god, like, 2014, 2015. And,
yeah.
Like, and, like, I would argue that Villain Coded is in a more complete state right now than that one is, which is crazy. But yeah, so that's kind of where it stands in terms of, like, the development of the story. I'm hoping that at some point in the nearish future I can start, like, actually doing some, like, script writing and doing some, like, Basically making some comics for the comic. Crazy, right?
Ugh.
Can you imagine?
I feel you, man.
It's listen, we're gonna joke about it a lot today. Making a comic is fucking hard.
It's hard to make a one page
It's hard to make
of
one
anything.
page. It's hard to make anything, and we're like, what if we make like long form, long running, like plot heavy comics with multiple characters and like action sequences,
Oh, dude.
vehicles.
My audience fights me back at every turn.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, not to harp on it, but like making a comic while also making a living is fuck
Haha.
hard. You basically have to either have a very supportive partner or be like magically able to balance like a full-time job with making a comic, which I haven't figured out just yet.
Yeah, I like even with my very supportive partner, um, working a real job while I sell art on the internet. I don't have time to
It's
draw a comic.
it's time consuming.
Eddie doesn't pay the bills.
He should.
I wish he would.
Look at that smile. You don't want to give that man all your money?
Look at that smile.
He's so normal.
He'll spend it on weed.
I spent the rent money on weed. That's what he sounds like now, I guess.
Yeah, he sounds like Wario.
Sorry to make that decision for your character.
Thank you. Fuck Antonio Banderas. He sounds like Wario now.
See, we just need to get another Mario movie, and we get Antonio Banderas to voice Wario, and then it all comes full circle.
Whoa. Okay,
Uh,
that's awesome.
so I have bad news for you about the next slide, Cricket.
Yeah.
What the fuck is it?
What the fuck is Heartbreak Gulch?
Oh, what the fuck is that?
Where the hell is Waldrug? So what the fuck is Heartbreak Gulch, guys?
What the fuck
Let's
is
go.
Heartbreak Gulch? Let's go. Eddie's gonna dry a bit, I guess.
Yeah, and, I talk with my hands. I like can't do this and talk at the same time.
If you need me to tag in, just let me know.
Let's read the back of the book real quick. In the year 2199, deep in the independent state of New Mexico, lies a canyon village called Heartbreak Gulch. Once a ghost town, Heartbreak's corpse finally started twitching. Old-timer android outlaw Eddie Blackeyes, posing as his new persona, Sheriff Ramirez, is using the town's foundation to build his own criminal outpost. With very little progress so far, Eddie is ready to buckle down and make some moves beyond just inviting over some petty criminals. His best fighter, Right Dead White, just dragged an interesting new hostage into town, and some misfits want a slice of the pie. Heartbreak Gulch will become Black Eyes' criminal empire so long as the Heartbreakers don't kill each other in the process.
You're all writing this down, right?
You're writing this down?
This is gonna be on the test.
It's gonna be on the test. All right.
So what's going on here?
What the hell's going on here? So, a little bit about the setting, because it's a little strange. We're a little more absurd with this one. It's a science fiction, Weird West, retro future dystopia. There's a major like societal collapse that everyone's living in. There's no like apocalypse or anything like that, but the world's pretty fucked up. Most of America is a desert. That's just how it is now.
Have you guys ever seen a little film on Tubi called Death Race 2000?
Please watch Death Race 2000.
Literally, please watch Death Race 2000.
Please watch Death Race 2000. Oh, the trout population is fucked.
God bless the trout.
God bless. So it's the typical cyborgs and robots type sci-fi. It's the usual just like science shit. not a lot in the way of like aliens or whatever's. But there's some other science has gone awry. There's a side character that I will not be getting into today that is a mutant. We just have a lot of shit going on. Um
Oh,
just
so
a little there's Sal. Oh, Sal. There's a little bit of supernatural just to keep up with that like Western Gothic kind of thing. And also, it is very like heavily 70s influenced. And when it's about a bunch of guys out in the desert in the 70s, there's probably going to be some weird supernatural cult shit going
obviously.
on. Just a kiss of it.
Just a
Um,
little peck.
just a little peck. So this takes place in the Allied States of America, the ASA. Um, there is 49 of them. It is ruled by a government body called the Board.
Quick tangent. Can we talk about Oklahoma?
Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna get to Oklahoma.
Yes!
So it is 49 states. Hawaii left the alliance. Hawaii's gone. They don't got Hawaii anymore. So
we
we're
recognize
left
the
in 49.
sovereignty of the Hawaiian kingdom.
Yep. So we got 49, and then Puerto Rico joined. So we got Puerto Rico now. Brought us back to 50. But then Oklahoma was emancipated by the Russians. So we don't. Oklahoma is a different country. Um, so so yeah, we have the 49 allied states. Um, they they all kind of have their own like government bodies, their own like police forces and stuff like that. Everything's just kind of torn apart. Why Oklahoma specifically? It's funny.
And you said
I thought it'd be really
You're
I thought it'd
saying
be really funny for a state in the middle of all of the other states to be emancipated by another country.
yeah, you said specifically it had to be one that was landlocked.
It had to be completely landlocked by other states. I don't know which Russians.
It's
I'll make some
2099,
shit
whichever
up.
ones are operating then.
Yeah, it's 2199. Who cares? Um. So, kind of how the society works, especially with the characters that we're going to be talking about. Aesthetic, fashion, and decade kind of like is split apart region to region depending on where you go. There's like a very different sense of style, and sense of style is very, very important because it is the only way to be taken seriously. Especially any kind of celebrity, any kind of outlaw. You gotta know, you gotta really have a stage presence
You gotta serve
for
pun,
anyone
or you'll
to
die.
you have to serve or die.
Serve or die, dude.
In this world, it's serve or be killed. Um so a lot of this has to do with the outlaw culture. And outlaw culture is like a mix of just general celebrity worship, wrestling fandom, and true crime. So we're taking all of those, mixing them into a pot, and then just kind of like amplifying it to be a little bit more absurd. People are obsessed with the outlaws.
Yeah.
Police don't want to arrest the outlaws because they know about the unrest that it will cause. Everyone loves it.
You might have heard earlier that Metalocalypse was a bit of an influence.
Yes. It's honestly even been this before Metalocalypse, but after watching Metalocalypse like a million times, I'm like, I need to really drive this home.
Really just lean in.
Oh yes, like Right Dead White will steal your wallet and you will thank her.
Well, that's just true. Have you seen her?
That's just true. She's gonna give you the empty wallet back, and you're gonna ask her to sign it.
It's gonna be a little bit wet. She was chewing on it.
She probably chewed on it a little bit. So it's it's a dystopia comedy, so everything's gonna be a little bit absurd. I mean, again, think Death Race 2000. You've all watched that, right? I'm sure.
It was a prerequisite for the stream.
Please. And then we're gonna bend our own rules if it's funny. I should probably mention my co-writer.
Yeah.
No, we don't gotta mention that guy. No.
Who's that?
I don't think they're in chat. That's so sad.
That's so sad. I can't believe Tibbs hates us.
My co-developer is my bestie, known as Tiberius Tibbs, or just Tibbs on the internet. Um, Tibbs doesn't draw. Tibbs just helps me write, and Tibbs is really, really good at just coming up with ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Tibbs is an ideas guy. It's awesome. Sometimes the ideas are way too difficult for me to draw. But we ball. So this is going to be kind of like it's going to be character driven, episodic, go as long as I want. Kind of fairly similar to the whole deal with villain coded too.
There's some arcs sketched out, but like no, here's how it ends.
Yeah, there's probably not going to be too much of an end in sight. It's just gonna go for however long I want to do it. Kind of slice of life-ish. Slice of death.
Slice dice.
Slice dice. Yep. And it'll start also kind of similar vein with a surrogate character and then expand to the rest of the main cast from there.
Mm-hmm. It's a fun way to do things.
It's also starting with another cute little runaway. Aww.
Yeah, aw, they should be best friends. I hope that 13-year-old doesn't bully that grown man.
Yeah. Alright, yeah, it's made by me and Tibbs. And then we have a handful of co-conspirators with this that just kind of like it's all like very goofy ass like outlaws and characters with different themes, and a lot of my friends just kind of contributed their own guys to it.
Multiple people have come up to you and handed you a guide and said, "You can have this if you want."
That's quite literally what they do. They're just like, "Oh, I kind of came up with this, and you can have it."
This is yours.
And I say, "Okay." Fuck yeah.
I still gotta clean up my guy for you.
Yay!
You can
I love
have
to
her.
Get guys.
You can have her if you want. I don't know why you would want her. She's mean.
No, she's awesome. But she needs to be mean.
Yay!
All right.
Should we talk?
Are we into
Eddie?
the characters next? Should we talk about? Do you guys want to know about Eddie?
Does anyone here want to know about Eddie?
And then we wait for the stream delay for about 2 minutes to get any answer, and it's going to be no.
Oh, I know about Eddie.
Oh, I know about Eddie. All right, let's get another Eddie on stream.
Oh shit, man, is that Eddie?
Eddie! Here's Black Eyes himself.
He looks really normal. Look at that beautiful smile.
Look at how handsome he is. And those beautiful eyes. Don't be scared. So he is
window, okay?
Eddie. Okay. You left some shit outside. I took it.
You got Wi-Fi?
You got Wi-Fi?
Hey, lady,
Whoa,
you got
Mama.
a phone?
Mama, you got a phone? Okay. That's a little taste of his personality. So Eddie Black Eyes, also known as Eddie Ramirez. He has a million names. Eddie Black Eyes, also known as Eddie Ramirez, also known as Los Ojos Negros. So he is a high-tech companionship android known as a compandroid. He is a fully mechanical man. He's very realistic, if not just a tiny bit uncanny. A little bit about the companions. They were made... I think the stream's buffering a bit.
See, it says it's excellent on Twitch. I don't believe you, Twitch.
I don't know. The compandroids were made a very long time ago, before the events of the comic. It's your typical story of an android race that got created, and then it's like, oops, they're sentient,
and
they want their own lives. Oh, fuck their people. That typical story. They were based off of different celebrities from the time. And the particular celebrity that Eddie was based off of was a just Mexican heartthrob actor, kind of like a Mexican Antonio Banderas. If this is where you find out that Antonio Banderas is Spanish, I'm so sorry. Um,
We're here for you in this trying time.
Yeah, Ricardo Montalban, Antonio Banderas type of actor. Just did everything. Everyone thought he was beautiful. And that's who Eddie is based off of. Things didn't go too well for the robotics company that made them. They went under pretty soon after robots started, being people. And this happened a very long time ago because I am not interested in covering robot civil rights stuff, especially not after what David Cage did. I'm just going to leave it alone.
None of that,
he is
baby.
83. None of that. He's 83 years old. He is one of the earliest ones that came off of the assembly line. His software isn't doing too hot.
Imagine a computer that's 83 years old and has done a lot of drugs.
Yeah, it's a computer that's 83 years old. He's not doing too great. Has had a couple repairs here and there. His warranty is void. He's a little twitchy. But it's okay. His outlaw persona, Los Ojos Negros, is kind of a romantic take on El Charro Negro, which is just like kind of a Mexican ghost story. Scary, all black clad cowboy on a horse. That beautiful thing. Yes, like Bond just said, Eddie will find any USB on the ground and plug it in just to see what happens.
Won't even question it.
Yes. Despite all that, he is a super skilled sharpshooter. That's like his like big thing. He's great at negotiation, keeping quiet. A lot of charisma from this guy. Back in his heyday, before he like kind of stopped the Los Ojos Negros stuff, he was known as a relocator, where he would just help like people that were in bad situations, take them somewhere else quietly. And then also just contract killer. Your suck ass husband is horrible. He'll take care of it.
Hey,
Hey mama, you want I should kill your suck ass boyfriend?
That's him.
He'll do it. That's him.
He'll shout that at you from across the street, and oh baby, he'll do it.
You want I should kill him? Oh, you're buying drinks at the bar all by yourself, and your husband's not even here to buy them. Should I kill him for you?
Here's $5. Get whatever you want. I'm gonna go kill your husband.
I'm gonna go kill your husband. $5 not enough to buy a drink at the bar. He's already gone. He's already out the door.
He's 83 years old. He hasn't accounted for inflation.
Help him. So by the press, he was labeled a prolific kidnapper because he would, take people away, put them somewhere else quietly. He has a strong sense of his own version of justice. Once again, your husband's not here buying drinks for you. I'll go kill him for you, queen. But yeah, very charismatic guy, very personable, huge flirt. Everyone likes him. He's very strange, but you can't not be attracted to him. He's kind of one of those guys. He gets kind of grouchy if things aren't going his way. He's used to being a lone wolf. So when he's working with people, he gets a bit frustrated when they're not doing things right, especially because he keeps recruiting very young outlaws.
We all talk about the talking gun.
Oh, forgot about the talking gun.
I can never forget the talking gun.
He loves to yell at his gang members about how he's been doing this since before they were born. And yeah, he's bisexual. He likes humans and robots. He's got some gender stuff going on.
He doesn't think so, but we know better.
He doesn't think so, but everyone around him knows better. Yeah. We won't have to worry about that though. Yeah. It's not bothering him. It's not ruining his day.
Oh no, he can get high.
He can get high. Just because I think it would be funny for robots to be able to imbibe. I don't know, some bullshit reason like they got sensors that let them, I don't know, they adjust the AI depending on what like chemicals have gone into their body or whatever.
He's
I
the
don't know.
world's
He
best designated driver. He gets smashed. It's time to go. He goes, okay, hang on. He hits a button and he's fine.
Yeah, he just like stops the protocol and he's good. He's like, yeah, man, I'll drive. He finishes off his drink and is like, get on my bike. He smokes that robot shit.
Just simply set drunkenness to no. What's wrong with you all?
Said exactly. He's great. It's awesome. He can like eat and stuff too, but it doesn't need to. So
It's
that's
purely for
Eddie.
the vibe.
It's yeah. He has a joint with him literally everywhere he goes. He'll get grumpy if he doesn't.
Please.
Just because he needs something to do.
Grandpa needs smoko.
Oh,
Should we talk about the
Daddy needs a joint.
Go roll daddy a joint. Please.
Uh, it literally is his emotional support blunt. Yes.
He needs it. Much more than you do right now.
He needs it. Please give it to him.
He'll walk into a room,
right.
take a joint right out of your hand.
Give me that. He's confiscating it. He's being a good sheriff and confiscating things and smoking them later. Like any cop. He's getting really into the role play. No, he's not a real cop. The badge is real. They did give him a badge. And then they realized too late that it's like, oh fuck, was that Eddie Black Eyes?
Listen,
they're not gonna go take that.
Turns out
They're
all
not
you
gonna
need to
take
do
that
is swap
badge.
out your contacts, and they'll just give you anything.
Yeah, you have some lady switch your eyes back to normal, and they'll give you whatever you want. All right. Enough about that man.
Enough about him. This ain't about him, I say, looking at the 5 Eddies surrounding me.
Hee hee.
Ugh, what a woman.
Right. I hate it when girls die.
I hate when girls die.
It's white. Guys, it's white. You know
like
her,
butches?
you love her. You like butches. You like a skinny little butch that's eating trash off the floor right now.
What if a woman was like a possum?
She's something else. She's an unknown entity. She's like she's a raccoon with mange. Elizabeth White.
She's an inspiration, the first ever woman to beat rabies.
Yeah. She has rabies. No, she's a carrier. Her body temperature is too low for it to incubate. So she is the new young superstar outlaw in New Mexico. She's not exactly the femme fatale that the media wants. But she's pretty popular with just like, you know how it is. Sometimes things are a little bit too weird for the media, but everybody knows about it anyway. That's kind of white. She is only 25 years old. She's a youngin'. She is the youngest and newest member of the Gulch. Eddie's like best job runner. She'll just kind of tell her what to do and she'll go and make it happen. Her outlaw persona, Red Dead White, is Ace of Spades death themed. Ace of Spades is the death card. Yada yada. She has her whole Ace of Spades thing going on. Dresses up like with her whole right side as being kind of like a skeleton. She has like a big hooded poncho and a scythe and all that shit. Because she's badass.
She's badass.
Because she's fucking badass. She's a scrapper. She's good in a fight. Her arm is electrified. She can tase people with that thing. She's just downright intimidating.
She
Rumors
can
of she can and will bite. Rumors have gone way further than anything that she has actually done, so people are just afraid of her. Just in general. She probably didn't do all that shit, but are you going to stand around and find out if she can or not? Probably not.
You gonna take that risk?
She's taken off a few fingers, for sure.
You gonna wait around and see what else?
Yeah. No, you're gonna get out of there. She's stupid as fuck.
And we love her for this.
She is not very smart. And that's just great. I love the idea of like the edgy, serious, quiet like character that's usually like the person that's like smarter than everybody else, just instead being stupid as hell. She has anger management issues, she's a dirtbag, loves to fuck around with people. White would we literally talked about this the other day. White loves Shadow the Hedgehog. He's got a gun and a bike.
She doesn't know what kind of animal he is, but she loves him.
It is a weird dog. He's got a motorcycle and a gun, and there's like tribal shit all over his stuff, and I love it.
This weird dog just said "damn."
I didn't know you could say "damn" in a video game.
He's just sick.
She hasn't been convicted of cannibalism.
Ain't been convicted.
She ain't been convicted. People say that she's a cannibal, but she hasn't been convicted, so like who's to say?
Who's to say?
So she joined the Gulch when Eddie just happened to hear about her. She did not look like this when he got her. I got her like he adopted her from the shelter.
That's basically what happened.
Kind of what he did. She kind of, after her incident that made her lose half of her face and an arm, she got a little bit fixed up by like a very nice doctor. And she just started running around doing whatever the fuck she wanted.
Just a stray dog biting people.
And Eddie heard about her, and like he retired from the whole thing of like helping relocate abuse victims and all that. He heard about her and was like, God, maybe I shouldn't have retired. This is making me feel a little guilty. So he goes and gets her and takes her to Heartbreak Gulch and like gets her fixed up a little bit. She's like, everyone in Heartbreak Gulch is pretty tall except for White.
She doesn't need.
I just want you to imagine the 6'2" big bulky Eddie finding this like 5'3" skinny ass little girl, and it's just like, I needed to finds her in a box as his free dog.
And it's
like
this.
I need to take you home and get you fixed up. And does so. They get her some better shielding for her, like, cybernetics and all that, and then she starts doing her whole thing as Right Dead White.
And of course they need to make sure she serves cunt or she'll die.
Oh, yeah. Like, she had the whole thing of, like, the half-dead, like, Ace of Spades thing, like, already. And then just kind of went with that. She is a lesbian. But as it says right there, she prefers a harsher word to describe herself that I'm not going to say on stream.
We cannot use her preferred terminology on twitch.tv.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Tragically.
Tragic. She loves women. She would love to bite into the thigh of one day. And yeah, she's from Nebraska.
Yeah, of course she's from Nebraska. Look at her.
Look at her.
Just look at her.
She's from the beef state. Plenty of cows out there.
Let me tell you, you can just run right up to those things, but watch out.
Tip one over, it's funny. And yeah, she thinks Eddie's gross. He's just he's kind of a weird old man.
Lord.
She kind of, for some reason, thinks that he's, like, her landlord. Doesn't quite get the whole off-the-grid thing that's going on. And people have corrected her, she just doesn't pay attention.
She don't care.
Her and Eddie probably hit each other with lawn chairs. She tries to, like, take his guns. I don't know. They have fun. They have fun here.
Uncle and niece, if they both sucked ass and would kill each other given the opportunity.
It's a very, oh yeah, it's a very uncle and niece situation between those two. Okay.
We're about at our next hour. Do we want to take a quick break before we bring out the twink?
Yeah, let's make him wait for the twink.
I say this as if he's, like, behind the curtain back there.
He's gonna get one of us. Yeah, let's make him wait for the twink.
Yeah, alright.
I have to pee.
Yeah, we're gonna do a quick 3-minute break, run the ads so that y'all don't get interrupted, and then we'll bring out the twink that you all love so much.
Yippee!
Can y'all watch Eddie while we go smoke? Alright, see you soon.
Hee
I'm unmuted.
We're back, baby.
Oh, it's videos.
Oh, it's videos.
Should we get the twink out or make him keep waiting?
Are you guys ready for the twink?
Are you ready for the twink?
Guys, we'll ask this and not wait for an answer.
Yeah, we sure won't.
Let's go. All right. Oh, Zakir.
Oh, Zakir.
Oh, we love Zeki.
We love
Zeki Al-Najjar.
It's so funny. I've been around enough now that I remember when it was like, might do something with this one character. Haven't worked with him for a while, and now here we are. Oh, Zeki.
Well, so we needed to replace a member of the cast. We had 4 members of that were like the main heartbreakers, and then there's one that we couldn't use anymore. I'm gonna back up and talk about Heartbreak Gulch and how it's like how old it is.
Yeah, we're gonna make you wait for the twink. Actually, we got more backstory.
Yeah, you can look at his beautiful face. So Heartbreak Gulch is this year 8 years old as a concept. We came up with it a very long time. Tibbs and I came up with it a long time ago, where we're just like, let's just make some guys for like a weird like retro future cowboy shit. And we were both like, okay, and made a bunch of guys. And we made it with like a few other friends. And it's a lot of people that we just do not talk to anymore. And I probably could have kept the characters. But I don't want to. You know how it is.
You know how it is.
A lot changes in 8 years, yada yada. And we had Zeki was a character that was already made and was on the back burner. It was just kind of like a D&D character that Tibbs had. I was like, I'm gonna just change his name. He's from somewhere else now. We just need like a smart guy to like keep the books in town and all that shit. Everyone needs a smug, smart asshole in their story.
Literally, we need the opposite of white, the dumb as rocks, tiny butch. How about an extremely tall femi twink who's smart as anything?
Yep. Oh yeah. And we had the idea to like, oh, we could make him an outlaw eventually, and then we stopped playing with Heartbreak Gulch for a while. And it was only like 2 years ago that I got them all back out of the box. We started messing with them again, and we're like, okay, we have all these gaps of these characters that we don't want to use anymore. We need another, like, a 4th member. And it's like, what about that really pretty boy? What was his name again? I said to Tibbs, and Tibbs was like, oh, Zeki. And I was like, okay, well, let's throw him in there. Let's play with him a little bit.
Let's see where this goes.
Let's see where this guy goes. And it goes very far and very tall. So we've got Zeki.
Zeki, you love Zeki.
You love Zeki. So he's the town academic. He is the smart guy in town. He's a very quick learner. So he's just good for like he has all of the books in town. If there's any outlaws that need any like information for scouting out an area or whatever, he has maps. He can help you interpret stuff. Yada yada. All that stuff. He's not yet an outlaw.
Not yet.
Not
Smiling
yet.
serenely.
I've drawn his outlaw persona so many times it doesn't really matter. It is technically a spoiler, but who cares? He will be an outlaw. He'll be a very, very beautiful outlaw named Phasmid, and that's spelled with a Z. Because it's cool.
Because it's cool.
Because it's cool. You can get that bad boy on a sticker. You can get that bad boy on a print.
Yeah, I got it.
It's
gorgeous.
I need to make more Zeki stuff. Anyway, so he's 30. He's extremely tall, extremely beautiful. He is 6'7". This dude is long and scary.
Get away from my pizza
he works
rolls,
a ton
you
of
bastard.
Get away from my pizza rolls, you long bastard. He does a lot of odd jobs in town. He's the town nurse. He works very closely with the town doctor and is his hands, basically. Because the town doctor cannot perform like most like hands-on actions. We'll find out about that later. We'll get to that. Librarian, his house has like a small library of stuff. You can go to him if you need information on something. And then also bartender, just because everyone works a ton of odd jobs in town.
It's a small
Eddie's
community.
Oh yeah, Eddie's doing his patrols. White is helping with the ranch, with like the small amount of animals that they have down there. It's very hard to get in and out of the Gulch, which is why it was abandoned for so long, and is a perfect like criminal outpost. So they're trying to be as self-sufficient as possible. And yeah, Suzeki does a bunch of different jobs around. You don't really need to be a full-time nurse with how little people are there, yada yada. He is very helpful and very clever. But he's very mean and pretty neurotic. He's a bitch. Just look at him.
Just look at him.
Just look at him. He was diagnosed with autism at a very young age, which has affected his life in fairly negative ways, just the way that people have treated him growing up, knowing that. So he has a little bit of an attitude. And yeah, coupled with, like, he's autistic, he is visibly gay, he's kind of a freak with how tall he is, so he's kind of had to have a thick skin, and he just, need to have a fuck-off attitude. Even if it is at the expense of your friends sometimes, because he's just rude.
He's just a rude boy, but also, he's never
just
done
rude.
anything wrong in his life.
Oh, yeah. Everyone loves him. He's a bitch. So he loves to just research just about anything, but it always comes back to like invertebrates, herpetology, stuff like that. He's very interested in like natural pharmaceuticals and like poison, stuff like that. Which is something that he was researching in college before he got expelled.
Not in college no more, brother.
He's not in college anymore. He immigrated from Turkey to go to college in America. That boy's visa is up. Not like the ASA is paying much attention to that anymore. But he didn't want to go back home after he was expelled. Felt like a bit of a failure, kind of bounced around a bit, trying to find a place to fit in, could not. Found his way to the Gulch as a just fresh-faced 23-year-old skinny little gay boy and was like, I deserve to be here. And Eddie tried convincing him to find somewhere else to go. He would not. And Eddie's like, all right, we'll let you stay here. Just try not to get killed.
Can you not die, please? Please
don't die. Like it says here, he's the platonic ideal of a scheming twink. He is snake-like, a very snake-like gay man.
He's the vizier.
Yes. He's down bad for Eddie.
And he's
working
on it.
He wants Eddie. He's working on it. Okay? He's working on it. Things happened in his past that has made it a little hard for him to feel normal about authority figures and for that to go well. That might give you some insight into why he was expelled from college.
Mm-hmm.
And he's working on it, okay? It's just a little scary. There's nuance.
You might be able to do some math. Showed up at 23, he's 30 now, he's working on it.
He's working on it. Yeah, it's a one side. It's not even a situationship yet. He's just staring at that man from a distance.
It's a situationship for Zeki, and meanwhile Eddie's like, I like driving my bike.
I love to shoot my gun.
Hey kid, watch me hit that can.
Check this out. Zeki's good friends with White. They're, young gay people.
Mm-hmm.
Down bad for Eddie. Yada yada. Those are the situations so far.
That is the situation we put the twink in right now.
And the twink fucking hates the next guy we're gonna talk about.
Oh, he does not like the new baby. What a polite young man.
Felix.
I hope nothing bad ever happens to him.
Felix Wilson Enderly Smythe.
I was putting these slides together and I was like, what the fuck is his name again?
You were missing a couple letters from his stupid ass last name that I added back there.
Thank you for sparing me.
Felix Wilson Enderly Smythe. He's brand new. He's the new guy. What the fuck is going on with the last name?
British.
He's English. He is English nobility. That's what's going on with the last name. So he just got here. Just in every possible way, he just got here. Do you remember how I said that Right Dead White in the little back of the book synopsis, Right Dead White brought a new hostage into town?
I wonder who that could be.
That's Felix. He ran away from home at the ripe young age of 30. Came to America, just bad luck situation after bad luck situation, ended up in the Gulch. So, yeah, 30-year-old crybaby. This poor boy. Everything's happening to him. And yes, aimlessly and impulsively left his sheltered life in England and made his way across the Allied States. Won't get too much into his backstory yet, but yeah, he got upset and ran away from home.
Mm-hmm.
One of the big things that happened to him as he was getting across the states was he survived a game of Russian roulette with a strange old man at a crossroads.
You know those strange old men that love to be at the crossroads.
There's just strange old men in the West that hang out at crossroads and want to gamble with you. Wonder what that's about. And this old man said, if you win against me, you're gonna be lucky. And Felix is like, well, yes, we're playing Russian roulette. If I survive, I will be very lucky.
Well, yes.
Well, yes. And while playing with this old man, the gun jammed on the very last bullet. And so he got away. That's not how he lost his eye.
Yes, separate
that
incident.
Happened later. So he's had pretty uncanny luck ever since. It might not seem like it sometimes. Like sometimes he gets, perhaps maybe he got shot in the eye. But it didn't kill him. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
He gets kidnapped by a gang because he, sometimes you fire off a warning shot at a gang leader that's coming after you and it ricochets everywhere and then lands itself in the gang leader's head and kills the gang leader so you can get away on accident.
These things happen to a lot of people.
And then you get kidnapped by that gang for killing their main guy and somehow you get found by fucking Right Dead White, who rescues you and takes you hostage to her little hometown.
And let him tell you, she does not look like the books.
Yeah, she really doesn't look like what people talk about back home, but, you know, whatever. It's fine. He thought that she'd be a little bit more... Well, the books at home made her a little bit more, voluptuous, maybe? Cleaner? Taller?
Said more
So
words
his...
at once.
Said more words, maybe? A little less scary? So he ends up being White's sidekick. And his persona to match is a Jack of Hearts motif, which is also known as the One-Eyed Jack. So we got the Death card and the One-Eyed Jack. So he's got his cute little hearts everywhere. Love him.
He's so cutie pie. The cutest little
He's so
outlaw
cutie
we
pie.
have.
He's a brawler. He's very tough. He's kind of got that sleeper build. He's a fat boy with a lot of muscle underneath. And he doesn't really realize that he's fighting pretty good. He's just kind of panicking and crying and throwing punches at people that are throwing punches at him. And he's just kind of generally a good luck charm.
Things just go
Yeah,
well
Felix
in
and White
Gulch
kind of fit together perfectly.
around.
Lord Slimeapple. So, and he's wanted by a mysterious person offering a lot of money for his capture. There's posters around of him looking very clean and proper. His hair is actually cut. His beard is nicely trimmed. He has 2 eyes. Big smile on his face. That's just offering a reward for his whereabouts. Nobody knows who it is that's looking for him, but they're offering up a lot of money. And when he was rescued by White and taken to the Gulch, Eddie knew about that cash reward. He recognized him from the posters that are going around. And told him, like, hey man, we could get a lot of money if we turn you in, but you seem like fun. And I don't know what this person wants you for, but I think that I want to keep you. Just as maybe leverage, anything like that. I don't want to turn you over. But you have to make up that money for me. So Felix does not get the protection of the Gulch. He has to go out with everybody. Tibbs!
Who's this
You
guy?
missed everything. Go back to the beginning. Tibbs is now here. I should say, I kind of touch on it with Zeki, but Felix and Zeki were both made by Tibbs.
Those are Tibbs
Obviously,
boys.
we have co-ownership over everybody, but
Some
that's
concepts
Felix's
are
whole
brought to the
deal.
table, yeah.
oh, actually, something else with Felix's whole deal. He's straight, guys.
He's definitely straight.
I don't know why you would even ask. Obviously he's straight. He's never had to think about it before because it's so early.
It's just so obvious that he's straight. Don't you agree? Don't you agree? Please agree.
It's just so obvious. He's never really been around gay people before. He's met a few, but like I said, he's been pretty fucking sheltered. So being rescued by the trash butch and going to town with the sexful bisexual robot man and the evil twink, you know.
Zeki is there.
And Zeki is there. And yeah, everyone is so nice to Felix.
Everyone is so nice. No one's ever mean to him. No one ever thinks it would be really funny to make him cry.
That's all a lie. People fuck around with Felix a lot because it's funny. And also, rich boy, haha, bitch, idiot.
He's basically walking around with a kick me sign on his back.
Yeah.
Maybe literally if White gets to him.
He went to Oxford! This man went to Oxford! That's one of the reasons Zeki hates him. He has a degree, so Zeki's pretty mad about it.
Zeki feels really normal. He hasn't tried to give him any rattlesnake venom.
Zeki is not threatened at all by this man. So yeah, Zeki hates his ass.
Zeki would like many things to happen to him.
Oh yeah.
Zeki's gotta put on a talent show.
Oh, Zeki's gonna do some.
Zeki's gonna change the course of both of their lives.
Tibbs, I said that there's a mysterious person offering a lot of money for his capture.
We don't know who that is, Smile.
We don't know who that is, though. Fuck, what was I gonna say? Oh, Felix's odd jobs around are helping, kind of build buildings. He's doing just, like, general manual labor stuff, because he's fairly strong,
Yeah,
and he just wants to help.
Boy.
Yeah. He gets to get dirty for the first time in his life, basically, so he's just kind of excited to do anything that's not just, like, sitting around and, like, looking clean.
Roll that boy in the mud.
Yep. A white'll do it. White's gonna roll him in the mud.
Oh, I just looked at the next slide and I'm smiling so wide.
Oh, are we getting to side characters now?
It's Side Guys, Burgers, and Fries time.
Alright, side guys time.
Oh, are you guys ready? I'm ready.
Let's fucking go.
Oh, yeah, baby! Yeah, baby! Right now,
Try not to say mother challenge. Impossible.
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 Oh, Lily.
Corpse flower. Oh, corpse flower.
Oh, we love her.
So she's technically a side character, but all of us are so obsessed with her so much that she gets talked about just alongside the main cast. Because she, yeah, like Tib said, she is our greatest creation. I don't even know who originally came up with the idea.
she just manifested like this.
Yes. Lily Titan.
She has the pull of a main cast member, no matter how often she appears.
Oh, yeah. So she is the celebrity criminal. She is Madonna. She is our Princess Diana. She is so well known. Everybody's favorite. So her heyday was decades ago, but everyone still loves her. The people that probably keep up with her the most now are like true crime like lovers in this universe and gay people.
Just the gayest person you know.
Oh yeah, they love her. So she is a serial Black Widow.
Allegedly.
Yeah, she never got convicted. So she's, she's a murderer. You know how it is. She's a stellar actress, a gardener and cook. And all of her husbands, she just had such bad luck with her, 10 plus husbands.
It's just so awful. She feels terrible about it. She doesn't even want to talk about it.
Her first husband died along with his own parents, and she got really sick after they ate something horrible.
She was lucky to be alive.
She was lucky to live. And after that happened, she was like, well, I get to live my life now. She took his last name just because it was better than her original last name. She kind of took it as a trophy. And then just kind of went on doing her stuff. Her first husband was around her age. Her subsequent husbands were octogenarians.
Mostly on the older side.
There's all these rich old men out there that just want a young presence to really help them open up. And then you get married to them, and they're like, they want to keep up with you, and they just want to be wild. So we go bungee jumping, and then something horrible happens to the bungee cord as soon as he jumps. Anyway, can I go home now? So that's just, the horrible things just keep happening to her husband, and it's so sad.
Has the worst luck.
Yeah. And then she gets all the money because her children are estranged because their dad married a 25-year-old woman that they're pretty sure killed all of her other husbands. So she, you can obviously probably tell from context the two portraits that are there, her from her like original big run as an outlaw and then her now. So she is Eddie's ex-partner and ex-lover. They're divorced. They never got married, but they did get divorced.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Yeah, that was about 40 years ago. Oh yeah, how could I forget the tragic sword and axe museum incident? Anyway.
I don't even want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it. Let's talk about something more fun, like Star Trek. So that was 40 years ago. It's been 40 years. She is now retired to a mansion populated by her cat, and a couple dozen beautiful compandroid pool boys.
Oh, her beautiful pack of boys.
Her beautiful boys.
Just running around like a bunch of golden retrievers.
Yes, the boys I always think of being like the feral boy band from Gravity Falls. She has like a natural magnetism for robots, which is great because she loves robots.
She loves them.
She's what you would call a robo-fucker. She loves her robots. Yeah, she loves nothing more than fashion, men, and robots. She's a little boy crazy, but it's fine.
It's fine. She's so cute about it.
She's so cute about it.
Can I say something awful?
Absolutely.
Do you think there's a term in the Heartbreak Gulch universe for, like, robot chasers?
Ooh. We'll think about it. We'll think about it. What did we say? Tibbs, what was the phrase that we came up with? Oh, what once you go synthetic, all else is pathetic. What was it? It was some shit like that.
I think that was it. The music did stop right when I said that. That was awesome. Also, hi Synth, hope you're doing good. Oh, Lily.
So yeah, I should also mention, you could probably tell by her older portrait that she's had a lot of work done.
You made her boobs really small in this art.
I tried my best, man.
Reining them in for the presentation.
Yep. Yeah, she's had a lot of work done. She doesn't try to hide it. She's pretty proud of it. She'll show you exactly what she got done.
It's very much a Dolly Parton situation.
Oh, yeah. We also said that she got a metal plate, like, put in her spine. She has, like, metal reinforcements in her spine to, like, keep her boobs up. So that she doesn't get back issues. She's like, it was between my back and my boobs, and you know what? I picked the most important things.
She's real for this.
And we love her.
We love Corpse Lily. We love Corpse Flower. We love Lily.
Oh, yeah. We love Lily.
Queen.
Diva, mother, queen.
So she got her own slide on account of just look at her, but there are other guys.
Just look at her. Just look at her. We needed her to have her own slide. We're obsessed with her.
She needs her own presentation.
She really does. Yeah, then there's the green M&M. That green M&M post reminds me of her so much.
Now you
Like, this is
listen to me,
something
young
like,
man.
you listen to me, young man. She's saying this at her boys every day.
Every day when she
Um,
wakes up.
every day. There's a lot of posts that make me think of Lily, and only a couple of them are okay to say on screen.
Only a few are cleared for Twitch.tv, but the Eminem one is one of them.
The M&M one is one of them, yes.
Yeah, one of them failed to get her Bambi for the PS2 and he never saw the light of day.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
That
yeah,
never
the
saw the light
Princess
of day.
Celestia one. If you know,
The
you know.
Celestia one, yeah. 18 pounds of crake.
Oh no, Los Ferratu is more of an Eddie.
Yes, Los Ferratu is Eddie talking about Lily. For sure.
Yeah, Lily's related. Lily's relevant in
Oh,
that
yeah.
scenario.
There's the big leagues.
Yeah.
Talk about the big leagues.
Oh, the big leagues.
I can't even allude to one of them that I'm thinking of. She also loves gay men.
Oh yeah.
There's a term for what she is that we can't say on Twitch.
We
I'm sure you can
cannot
probably
say it
guess.
on Twitch.tv. 2 words that rhyme with each other.
I'm sure you can guess what it is. But she's also one of those types that's like, she probably knows more than you. She is so ingratiated in it. Yeah, she's a cigarette hag.
Oh yeah,
Sounds
she
so
is
terrible to
in
call
the
her.
scene. She goes to the club and they all know her.
She is in the scene. Yeah.
Yeah, specifically
A British cigarette hag.
cigarette.
Okay. Enough about her for now. She'll come back up later, I'm sure.
We can't get rid of her, you know that. But for now.
Oh no, she always sneaks up. Alright.
This is the best Heartbreak Gulch image of all of them. This is my favorite.
Alright. Ami Riverstone. Eddie's mechanic. She's doing some great work right now in that picture.
Oh yeah.
Town handyman, and she's great with fixing cybernetics. She's who all like the cyborgs and androids go to get fixed up. Everyone comes to her for advice against her will.
She doesn't want this, but everyone's doing it anyways.
They kind of think of her as like a little bit of the mom friend, but she really doesn't want to be that. She's trying to get some goddamn work done.
She's the dad friend. She'll fix your car.
Yes, she is. She is the town dad. She'll yell at people if they're getting into shit that they shouldn't be doing. You know, she has to yell at White all the time for eating rocks. She's fairly grounded. She is one of the most grounded people in town. She's not an outlaw by any means. She did work at a chop shop that was doing some shady stuff before Eddie like came to her and was like, I heard you're good with compandroids. Can you come and help me? She's a bit conspiracy minded. Not quite like thinking that everyone's out to get her, but she has some like choice ideas about the government that are a little strange. But that's fine. Everyone has something going on with them in Heartbreak Gulch.
She does live in Heartbreak Gulch. No matter how grounded she may appear, she is living in Heartbreak Gulch on purpose.
Oh yeah. She's in a pit called Heartbreak. Like, something's wrong with her. She is the first person that Eddie brought to town. His whole scheme with becoming the sheriff, he needed his like eye casings switched out to some not scary ones that gave him away as being Los Ojos Negros. Found her, got swapped out, and was like, hey, if my little scheme goes well, you're gonna have a job. And then he shows back up 2 months later, and she already packed her bags. She's already ready to go. She wants to live off the grid so bad.
And no one's gonna be able to find her.
Hell no. So she, she's kind of dad friend to White, but they're also like playing pool together and
Mm-hmm.
shit. Um, they're hanging out. Her and Eddie kind of have the same like old biker kind of like vibe to them. They both have probably done too many psychedelics for their little
They're
brains.
smoking on the porch
Um,
complaining about the kids.
oh yeah. They're smoking weed together on the porch specifically. Um, she would kill for Zeki. She will protect Zeki with her entire life.
Oh, yeah.
Zeki will do no wrong in her eyes. And she also doesn't like Felix. So anytime that Zeki's fucking with Felix, she's just like, well, let him do it. I'm sure Felix can figure it out. Fuck.
He's a grown ass man.
He's a grown up. He's 30. She's middle-aged, butch lesbian. And we love her.
She's really hot. Who said that?
She's from South Dakota, I think we said. So she's Lakota Sioux. I need to kind of flesh out her backstory a little bit more, but that's her, and she's so hot.
You
and we
you
love
need
her.
to convince her to tell you her backstory.
Oh yeah, she's just like, what? Why? What are you gonna tell?
Yeah.
What are you,
Who
a
sent
cop?
you?
Who sent you?
I'll get a gun. I'll get a fucking
I think
gun.
we said that she was part of like the state militia.
Oh shit.
Of South Dakota, before she quit. And then we have Manuel.
Oh, we love
Manuel
Manuel.
Quinn.
Five Guys Burger
We love Manuel.
Surprise.
Manuel was a canceled project by Ramirez Robotics. All that's left of Manuel is his brain. He is technically a cyborg. So his brain is in a tank hooked up to some computers. And he remotely controls 5 robot bodies. There used to be a lot more than that. It used to be like an entire factory worth of like a drone bots. But there's only 5 left. He does any job in town, basically. He's gonna. He can independently control 5 bodies, so like, why not?
Yeah, just send that guy out.
Ironically, he's the most grounded person in the Gulch.
He's just a chill guy.
I'd say he's kind of the straight man character, honestly. He's there. I think we decided that one of the many jobs that he performs is being Eddie's lawyer.
He's a good lawyer,
so, yeah, he's a good man.
No, we'll get to
him and Eddie are pretty good. Oh yeah. We'll get to the good man. He and Eddie are pretty good friends. They kind of bonded over their mutual frustration with Ramirez Robotics because it's the same company that made Eddie. They're both kind of screwed over in different ways by them. Yeah, Manuel's just kind of around just to hang out. You can usually see all 5 of them playing solitaire.
Is it canon?
In the bar.
Is it canon that it used to look like Raul Julia, or was that just fucking around?
I think Tibbs really wants Manuel as a full human to have looked like Raul, yes.
Love that
Tibbs really wants that, I believe. So very handsome. Moms love Manuel.
Moms love Manuel.
Okay, yes, Tibbs. Moms love Manuel.
That's another thing he and Eddie have in common.
All right. Oh, dude, moms love the robots of Heartbreak Gulch.
Moms love Heartbreak Gulch robots.
Oh, yeah.
All
right.
Speaking of very good man, guess who's up next? Our beloved town doctor.
All right, Dr. Horatio. Horatio is the town doctor. He is a advanced medical encyclopedia program that Eddie rescued.
Is that
He
what we're
stole
calling it?
from a university. Um, he stole it from a university. It was kind of decaying, so he needed to put it in the software was decaying as he took it, and he needed to put it in something. So he did. He needed to put it in a robot. Anyway.
It's in a robot now.
So
it's fine.
it's in a robot. It's an AI person. He's just an AI personality. Like, that's not really sentient or sapient. Just rudimentary. It's very smart program, but like it doesn't have like a ton of like. Can't really have a conversation with it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not really sapient or sentient, but a few members of town seem to think so. Especially Eddie. Eddie's convinced that Horatio owes him a life debt, but I don't know if the AI quite gets that concept. And that's Zeki works closely with him. Is his hands. Honestly, technically, full disclosure, Zeki's pretty much the doctor, going off of an encyclopedia, but no. And yes, Tim said that the voice of Horatio is Ricardo Montalban. We love our handsome Latino men in here. What? So I'll address the horse in the room.
What horse?
Dr. Horatio's program was put into a full-sized metal horse. There is a horse in the hospital.
Waking up from surgery here is gonna be really fun.
Waking up from surgery here is the scariest thing in the world. Because you're being looked over by a chrome horse and the scariest, tallest man you've ever seen in a leather apron with, like, black rubber gloves.
Yeah. And if you're really unlucky, Eddie Black Eyes is there.
And then fucking Eddie Black Eyes is also there, and it's really scary.
Eddie Black Eyes walks in behind the horse and goes, "Oh, did that guy die? No?
He died?
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Good job."
Oh, shit, he looks dead. Fuck. Ew.
That's gross.
That's gross, man. So yeah, that's Horatio. He's great. And then there's a girl.
So...
And then there's Zoe!
We love Zoe!
We love Zoe. So, Zoe is Bond's character.
Shouts out
Zoe
to
exists
Bond.
in every universe.
Yeah.
So we kind of mentioned earlier that Zeki was retrofitted from a D&D character and was, like, changed, like, a lot. For Zoe, all we did was cut off her leg.
That's how she
and
got
now
in.
She's in
She showed
Heartbreak
dedication.
Yeah. So Zoe is a traveling avant-garde showgirl. She's one traffic ticket from being on America's Most Wanted. She's not an outlaw, but with all of the fines, she might as well be.
And the vehicular manslaughter, but that was an accident.
There's probably some... I mean, she had the right of way. She loves love. She thinks Eddie is a gay cop. She doesn't quite understand what's going on in Heartbreak Gulch. But that's okay, because she gets a lot of tips. She's besties with Zeki. It's Z and Z forever.
Z and Z forever!
And she's having a little heart-themed fling with Felix.
Yes, they have matching heart outfits.
Finally, something good is happening to Felix. But yeah, she's a cute little thing. Eddie thought that he was going to be killed by all of the outlaws that came to town the first night she performed. He got her on and was like, all right, we're gonna rake in a lot of money tonight here at the bar. We got a new showgirl. She has most all of her limbs. She's hot. She has most all of her limbs. It's gonna go great. And she walks out dressed like a giant egg.
Full body egg costume with just her little head peeking
Full
out.
body egg costume. So she does cute little acts. She strips. It's fine. Everything went okay, but
The best way I can think to describe her acts is if Gonzo the Great showed more titty.
yeah. Um she's not always in the Gulch.
She's got
Like
gigs. She's gotta go where the work is.
exactly. Yeah. She goes kind of all over the place. Um Unlike like Horatio, Ami, and Manuel, who all live in the Gulch. So yeah, I think those are all my side characters that I made slides for.
Yeah, those are the side guys, burgers, and fries.
Those are my side guys.
Yeah. So now maybe we can finally answer the question. What the fuck is Heartbreak coded?
What's Heartbreak coded?
What the hell is Heartbreak coded? It's Barbies, okay?
What's...
We're playing toys. We're playing with our toys. Play in the space with us. We have our toys. We dumped them all on the floor, and we're making them.
We have all these toys. Oh, what?
Don't worry about that.
Sorry, what was that?
Don't worry about it. What the Barbies doing?
What are they doing?
What are the Barbies doing? So most of what y'all have probably seen, if you've seen any Heartbreak coded before, is basically like an elaborate what if we put the villain coded guys in Heartbreak Gulch. And the reason it's that is because nothing changes if you put Heartbreak Gulch in villain coded. Like, as far as I'm concerned, Heartbreak Gulch is happening like 2 states over in villain coded.
Yeah, Heartbreak Gulch could literally just be happening next door. It's also like, this might seem counterintuitive. It's easier to put characters. No, and this seems right. It's easier to put characters in a more absurd setting than it is to take characters from a more absurd setting and put them into something a little bit more grounded.
Yeah. And also, we can't give Eddie a cell phone. We just can't do that.
We can't let Eddie have a goddamn cell phone. That's the biggest reason. We can't let Zeki have a Twitter.
It was bad enough when Eddie was on Twitter. We can't go through that again.
Anybody in chat remember when Eddie was on Twitter?
Oh,
he has a Twitter.
He does have a Twitter. You can still go and look at it if you can find it. we can't read out his tweets.
Wait, I'm gonna go to his Twitter really quick.
See if there's anything we can legally say on Twitch.
There's plenty I can say. I'm sure there's some things that I don't remember ever.
I'm just remembering the Bush one, and we can't say that one on Twitch.
Oh wow, first tweet is about that thing that you said.
Yup.
Oh, like this tweet that says, I have 3 velvet paintings of myself. Girls love it. Haha.
Okay, we can read that one.
That one's pretty good. There's a picture of a Roomba that says, oh la la. Who was going to tell me I got such sexy fans? LOL.
There was the one about having that boy he knows him.
Wait, yeah, I need to hang on.
Where's that boy?
Oh, this one says, dose anyone want my phone number.
Isn't that the one you don't remember?
Yes. I'm the world's first childless deadbeat dad. That one's too self-aware. Said, having this boy I know tweak the... I clicked something. Having this boy I know tweak the threshold on my intox influencers for tonight. So I got a low tolerance for this last gummy I have because it's the last one I have. He followed that up and said, before you ask, 1, yes, I'm too lazy to just go down the road and get some more from my guy. Don't want put on pants, haha. 2, 50 milligrams. And then I think it was about 30 minutes later, he said, don't do this.
Don't do this.
Don't do this.
Something you all need to understand about Eddie if you've never seen him type is that he types like he has had multiple motorcycle accidents.
I always describe him as like a Gen X guy that you didn't remember adding on Facebook. That has definitely had like a couple head injuries. Um, oh, here's one of the best ones. My horny ass could not work in an industrial machine shop. LOL, haha, or anywhere.
Just being honest.
And then he replied with just being honest. If you want to find this and more of many things that I can't read out loud, go check out Black Eye Vaquero on Twitter.
He's still there. I think they took his login, but he's still there.
His bio is making me laugh. He, him, 83, bisexual, New Mexico. Let's smoke.
Honest about what?
Okay,
just being
sorry.
honest.
Just being honest about how he can't work in an industrial machine shop because he's too horny.
Or anywhere.
Or anywhere. Uh-huh.
But yeah. So we
the brief aside, any Twitter aside.
Eddie's Twitter aside, the Barbies are getting dropped in Heartbreak Gulch because it's fun, and because we both have a level of mental illness, we keep making sub AUs because it's fun to play with your toys.
Oh my god, the sub AUs, dude.
The sub
it's
AUs.
Intense.
We'll see if we want to talk about any of them, but we'll at least give the foundation first.
Yes.
Yeah. So the big thing is that despite being a more, like, absurdist world, in other ways, Heartbreak Gulch is more grounded in that, like, Buck don't got superpowers anymore. That ain't his backstory no more. There ain't none of that.
Mm-hmm.
The Armstrongs are just, like, a rich family. I haven't decided, like, what they do, but, like, they're rich, they have social prestige, and so Buck is still, like, a runaway from that. He didn't want to succeed. He didn't want that life. He still decided he was gonna try and be, like, an outlaw to damage the family reputation. And, instead of, you know, becoming a supervillain for 25 years, he just kind of struggled for a bit, and then got kidnapped while trying to rob some guys. And then Eddie found him in a box and went, I'm gonna keep this one. This guy's funny.
He's like, oh, yo, free dog.
His free dog. So they had a thing for quite some time. Life happens, life passes. Buck has a breakdown. Buck meets Davy. They're a throuple now. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Buck's doing really normal. Davy's still pretty close to canon. He's still a civilian who became, an outlaw. He kind of really rose to prestige after getting together with Buck and working for Eddie. Oh, 7-year situationship doesn't even begin to cover it. We'll get into that.
Oh my god.
They're bad. It's bad. But yeah, Davy's still kind of pretty similar. He's a solid, like, employee for Eddie, all things considered. And Minnie's still, like, the vision I have is, like, Minnie turns up maybe a little bit after Felix running away from her family. She was a little bit bolder in this universe. Instead of just going, well, I'm going to run away and try to find my uncle, she went, I know how I could solve this problem permanently. I'll just kill my dad. This will solve everything. It didn't work.
Hell yeah.
She had to go on the run. And then she tracked down Buck and is, like, lying low in the gulch. Also,
I think more children should try to kill their dads.
I cannot officially endorse this.
Eddie will.
Eddie will. Hey, Mama, you want I should kill your suck-ass dad?
You want I should kill your suck-ass dad? What's your mother situation?
Yeah, she hot.
She hot? Anyway, go on.
This was relatively recent. I think it was just like a week or two ago we talked about this. I changed Buck and Davy's, like, villain names in this universe because it didn't really make sense for them to be, like, Bulkhead and Dynamo. It wasn't serving in this world.
In this world where it's look awesome or be killed.
Yeah, it turns out, like, industrial junk mech just isn't enough anymore. So in this universe, Buck is now Bulldog because he is Eddie's grumpy little dog that was always following him around. And Davy became Hellcat because, one, he was mostly, like, as he was rising to fame, started getting seen with bulldogs, so it was like, okay, we gotta play on the theme. He's got kind of like, kind of an 80s biker look to him in a lot of ways. And a fun thing that Davy does in this universe that doesn't necessarily do in Villain Coded so much, Davy's Eddie's honeypot. Or no,
Oh yeah.
Davy is Eddie's honeypot. I don't know if I said that in the right order. Because you might have
Hell
noticed,
yeah, man.
Eddie doesn't really have a lot of femmes under his employ.
Nope.
But Davy's a beautiful twink that does drag. And he doesn't care.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't got hang-ups around it. He'll put on a dress, he'll cover that scar in some makeup, he'll seduce a guy so Eddie can sneak in and shoot him. He'll gladly do that. So in universe there's like debate. Like, people don't know that Hellcat is like a dude. They kind of, the like prevailing theory is that it's like a drag king.
Which is very funny, because Zeki's outlaw persona, which we didn't get too much into, Phasmid, is kind of like a drag act to Zeki. Phasmid is very much like a character that he is playing, like that's kind of how he thinks of her. And so he just like goes full into the drag thing, and like people are convinced that there's a lot of people that are convinced that Phasmid is just a woman. We got some gender fuckery in there.
It's fun to do this. It's fun to play with gender, and it's fun to play with like the outlaw persona as more obviously like a persona. It's fun to do this. Yeah.
We love it.
That is the basis of dropping them in there, and then as kind of our last run-up, I did make, I called it the Barbie relationship chart. We're kind of laid basics of how these characters generally feel about each other. But we are coming up on our next hour, so why don't we take a little breaky break before we jump into that?
Let's do it.
Yeah. I will pop us over to BRB, run the ad so we don't get interrupted by that, and then we will talk about the Barbies.
Hooray.
Be right back. My mute button.
Go.
Caress him.
Go. Crush his skull.
These are the two moods of Eddie. Speaking of which, what the Barbie's doing?
Alright, let's get back to what the Barbie's doing.
What the Barbie's doing? So let's start with Eddie. I just split it up by like Heartbreak Gulch character because that seemed easy. Yeah, so oh god. Why did I start us on Buck and Eddie?
How do we begin?
Oh my god. The 15-year situationship followed by a miscommunication breakup followed by another situationship, but another guy is there now.
Yup.
The thing you guys need to know about Buck and Eddie is like they are uncomfortably each other's type. It's like you would think we designed it that way if it wasn't just a coincidence with two separately written and designed characters.
We literally, we started talking, we followed each other before.
Mm-hmm.
Then we started talking more as soon as I started making more Heartbreak Gulch stuff, and I was like, your character. We, both, saw what was on each other's plates and went, what did you order?
Literally!
What is that? What is that? Tell me about that. That looks good. And then, our main guys... Two of our main guys, Buck and Eddie, we looked at them and were like, oh, these guys would have a toxic situationship
it
for
would
sure.
Be so bad for both of them, but also, what if?
They're gonna be really into it. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Cause how do I put this in ways that are safe for Twitch?
we can mention that they're they're in their gay BDSM communities.
Oh yeah, Buck is very much a sub. Buck's a Buck is an obligate bottom.
Yeah.
And Eddie is a very domineering kind of man.
Eddie's a dom. He's also he's into leather.
Mm-hmm.
Buck
likes
leather pride kind of guy. Eddie's that.
Yeah, but also, Buck has huge titties and is, just fundamentally a guy that, exudes needing to be taken care of. And that's what Eddie's literally built for.
Eddie is literally programmed to take care of somebody who's kind of defenseless. And also, he's real freaking cute. So
he's just a very cute, very sweet man when you come down to it, and he does, especially this version of Buck, at least villain coded Buck, he can, even though he's anxious and not a good fighter and kind of a klutz and just kind of not good at it, he at least is actively difficult to kill because of his powers. This Buck don't got that. This Buck is just helpless.
Yep.
So that's Eddie Catnip right there.
Oh yeah, this guy was just he literally finding him in a box and being like, "Aw,
this poor sad puppy.
Aw. Poachy!
Hi, Poachy! Poachy.
Poachy. I'll put you front and center. You're on camera now.
That's you.
But yeah.
So yeah, they are wildly each other's type.
And he's like, this is my dog now.
That's his cute dog that he likes. And also, on the flip side, they're both extremely, extremely bad at being vulnerable and talking about how they feel. Buck, One,
Oh yeah.
one, Buck thinks that everyone is out to kill him no matter what, and is sometimes right. And also, he just genuinely has a difficult time articulating, like, what he's thinking and how he's feeling because of his brain. Meanwhile, Eddie just doesn't want to be known.
Yeah. Eddie's afraid of being known. Um, that's scary to him.
It,
Um, he's also humans are so squishy.
they're so
Humans are
squishy.
squishy and they die really easy, so that's like really scary too.
Anything
Like,
can
or
kill
organic
them.
beings die real quick. And then also Eddie has like a whole complex about like he is always the guy in charge. He
Yep.
wants to be the guy in charge. He also is like fully aware that as a person of in a position of power, like it's bad to have like romantic stuff going on with like his underlings,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's like fine. It's fine, dude. Like, stop thinking about it so hard. It's fine. But he has a whole complex about it, like, also partially because of the companionship, like, programming kind of shining through.
Yup. And, like, yeah. Basically, a large portion of their relationship is Buck really liking this guy, wanting so badly for, like, commitment and romance, but also feeling like he was lucky to even get the time of day, so why would he push it? He should just be happy with what he has. And meanwhile, Eddie is like, oh god, this is my dog. Oh god, I can't
And
hurt
he's
my
like,
dog.
I can't make the first move. I can't because I'm in this like position. He has to come to me. That's the way this can work. I don't want him to feel pressured. He's never gonna come to him.
He's never
Buck
going
is
to
never
come to
gonna go
him.
to
Look
that
at
guy.
him. That very incredibly minor spoilers for Villain Code. The only reason Buck and Davy are together is because Davy went, hey, we seem to work really well together. What if I stayed here and lived with you and we, like, work together permanently? And Buck went, oh god, I cannot morally, like, invite him to live with me without him knowing that I'm attracted to him. That would be horrible to do to someone. And, like, of course,
Mm-hmm.
he, like, fessed up to that, and Davey was like, oh, thank god, I've wanted to fuck you so bad for, like, a year. Like, that is the only reason he said anything to Davey in canon. He's not saying anything to Eddie if he doesn't have to.
Yeah. They're both saying I'm not gonna be the first one to talk about this. So
Yeah, and that happened for 15 years while they, like, casually dated and hooked up and, like, worked together.
they're common law roommates,
They're common
as
law
we always joke.
roommates. So that was the whole thing. And then we mentioned, you know, they so Buck's like around when the Gulch kind of gets founded, and like Eddie's working on that. And you know, that's a lot of work. Eddie's away a lot. Buck starts doing like supply runs to like cuz he's got his truck, so he's like doing long haul like to bring in supplies that they need. So they're away from each other a lot, which is hard. And then a
Hmm.
beautiful boy just shows up while he's gone.
Then
And
a beautiful young man named Zeki
a
comes to
beautiful
town.
young man who is so smart and young and pretty, and he's so good at everything. And did he mention he's really smart? And he's spending a lot of time with Eddie, who keeps like talking to Buck about how he wants him to spend more time with this boy, and it's really important to him. And so Buck just has like a full on like ego breakdown because Buck already has like, when I say Buck has like self-worth issues, like I need to emphasize how much this is like a clinical and like life-destroying thing that's happening for him. He has no self-worth
Oh yeah.
whatsoever. So Buck's just like,
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna make this easy and like tell Eddie I'm gonna spend some solo time. Like I literally have not done that since like my 20s, and you know, just make it easy for him. Don't make him have to like make that choice. And so they Buck goes off on his own, And Eddie treats this as like a full breakup and is miserable.
Yep.
It's pathetic.
Eddie's like, well, that's over.
Guess I'll
Another
die.
great relationship in the bag, man. You did a good job with this one.
So they're both miserable and just not talking about it. While he's off struggling on his own, Buck meets another outlaw who's just getting started and kind of recruits him as protection, and that's Davy.
Yep.
So eventually that becomes a whole thing. Buck kind of like takes a risk, they get together, and it's nice. He really likes this guy. This is a very like sweet, supportive dude. They really get along really well. And so he starts opening up to Davy about like his last relationship and where he came from. And as he kind of lays all this out, Davy, who is not filtering things through Buck's brain, slowly begins to realize, oh my god, I'm a homewrecker. Oh, Jesus
Oh my god,
Christ.
I'm a homewrecker.
So Davy's like, hey, maybe we should go back and you can get some closure with this guy, because it sounds like you're not entirely over him, and that doesn't make me feel so good, because I kind of want this relationship to go to distance. I really like you. I don't necessarily want to be like the guy you're with while thinking about this other man who you still have a thing for.
Yeah.
So they start going back to the Gulch, and then they have a bit of a run-in, and things go really bad, and Davy loses his arm, and Buck has to rush him back, and that's a really fun way to reintroduce yourself to your old man, is carrying, like, a gushing blood stranger into the Gulch at, like, 4 a.m. So that's how they meet.
You're carrying him back. You're carrying that man back to the Gulch. And you know who has to save his life?
You know who we mentioned is the doctor's hands?
The beautiful twink that you ran away because you saw him. Has to save your man's life.
Yeah, because you couldn't even do that. So Buck's feeling awful. Eddie's feeling awful because his man's back in town with a new man. He hates Davy's ass because he's the new man. Hey man, I can perform with normalcy unlike you.
He's so upset. Yeah, Eddie is like upset about it.
Yeah.
Zeki's like Puzz just said, that can be normal. Yeah. Eddie has like a whole thing of like, cool, great. I'm always the placeholder. But then people just have fun with me and then they run off and start a real relationship. It's fine.
It's fine. He feels great about it.
It's fine. I feel okay. Yeah, Zeki didn't do any of this.
Zeki is literally just standing there.
He's literally nice. So poor, like, 24-year-old Zeki had to amputate a man's arm.
Yeah, like emergency amputation.
So that's awesome. He did a platonic amputation on Davy.
Davy woke up and went, there's a horse. Is that Los
There's a horse.
I'm hell.
I keep on imagining that scene happening where, like, he's talking to, like, Zeki's, like, beside the bed, like, checking vitals and just, like, asking him questions and all that stuff, keeping it very cordial. And Davy's like, before I went, it was kind of crazy before I went under. I thought there was a horse. And Zeki's like, oh, yeah. And then Davy being like, there's a man with a mustache. Can you bring him in here? And Zeki's like, oh yeah, sure. And Zeki goes and grabs Eddie instead of the other man with the mustache. And Davy's like, well, that's not supposed to take us.
I think
that's
I might
the
be
man I
in
wanted
hell
you
right
to
now.
grab. What the hell?
I don't think I survived that. Oh my. I also need to emphasize too, at this stage, Buck didn't mention that the man he had a situationship with that he was running, he did not mention this was the Los Otros Negros.
Yeah.
It, as far as Davy knew, it was
Um,
just like a guy.
just some guy.
Yeah.
No, it's the famous outlaw that has paperback novels written about him. Um,
Yup. He's real, and he's here, and you ruined his marriage.
he's real, he's not dead, and you wrecked his home.
Yeah, you stole his boy.
You stole his man. That's fucked.
So Davy has a great. Davy's making a great first impression.
Meanwhile, Eddie's outside kicking rocks like nobody loved me.
This time I'm really gonna do it.
This time I'm really gonna. No bitches loving my mustache will save me this time. Fuck.
So eventually, and I think Davy does largely have to be the driver of this. Eventually, a conversation is held.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the long
Oh,
and
should
yeah.
also mention that Buck described this hot new young thing in town taking his man, and his man is obviously interested in the hot new young thing. Um, and then when Davy gets to the Gulch, this hot new young thing won't even make eye contact with the sheriff.
He leaves
He's
the
so
room if he
shy that
sees
he
him
can't even
coming.
look him in the face.
Davy is just
Um,
suddenly getting the full picture and being like, "Oh my god, oh my god, I love him, but he's stupid. Oh
oh
no,
no, he's stupid.
oh no, he's stupid, and I'm the other woman."
Oh no.
It's so
So yeah,
vividly in my head. Davy just having to feel like, "I think you were married."
I think you were like, you know, Pochi, that's fucked up.
Oh, gee.
Pochi, what the fuck?
Oh yeah,
Oh
eventually they
no.
talk it out, and the long and short is Buck is like, "Okay, I still have feelings for you. I have feelings for this new man I've met. I really want to make that work." And they're just like, "Okay, polyamory, baby."
All right. Yeah, sure.
So they are a throuple.
They're a throuple.
Yeah, and Eddie officiated their wedding while all three of them were wasted.
Yep.
Pro- Probably fucked both grooms.
Yep.
And that's as good a place as any to talk about Davy and Eddie. They Once
Hmm.
they work their shit out, they get along well enough, but they also have a little bit of they 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 have a heart and trust. They work very well together. Davy takes a lot of pride in being like a good like member of the Heartbreakers, being like a trustworthy, reputable like mook essentially.
Hmm.
Yeah. And like he genuinely is, and I think Eddie recognizes that.
Oh
Certain
yeah, Eddie loves him as a team member.
Mhm. And like, especially after a while, they get along well enough. They got similar personalities. They like similar types of things. They can both like have a laugh together. They can have a drink. They are
Oh yeah.
they are for better or worse very good at looking through each other's respective personas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. In part because of
They're
that, they can also get each
they're
other
both like
on.
oh yeah. They're both like jocking out and queening out.
Yup.
Um they love to do either.
Yeah, like they essentially are very good at provoking each other both in good fun and like past that. They can get into like dick measuring contests.
Oh yeah, plenty.
Literal and metaphorical.
Yes.
Like
Um they don't really neither of them realize that the other one is interested in them.
yeah, they both mutually and unspokenly and incorrectly have the understanding of like, well, we're in this because of Buck. Like he is here because Buck has feelings for both of us and we want to make Buck happy. And like
Yes.
it's
We
nice that
wouldn't
we
be a
can be
thing if
friends.
Buck was not in between us. Yeah.
And like it's nice that we can be friends. It's nice that we work well together, but like obviously they're not interested in this being like a relationship outside of Buck, and they are both wrong.
They're both wrong. They're both into it.
we we'll get into this in a sec because I have a slide for Buck and White, but we have talked about like a scene where it's like them finally having to like talk out their feelings and having this like passionate night together where they finally like connect on an emotional level, and just
Yes.
keeps cutting to Buck and White on a job where they're just not talking.
They're on a train, just like facing each other in the seats, just like not.
Yeah, no eye
It's just silent.
contact.
Yeah, there's just like room tone behind them. That's it. It's the only sound happening.
But that's the boys. Uh, Minnie and Eddie.
Oh, Minnie and Eddie.
Eddie's beefing with this baby.
Eddie. Eddie would prefer this baby wasn't here.
He has to be cordial with her because like that's his puppy's niece, and like Davy really doesn't want him like scaring her. She's been through a lot. This baby is so rude to him. This baby has
Ed-
no respect for him.
Eddie has so much conflict about everything that has to do with Minnie. Like, once again, going back to both his programming and the work that he did before he started doing Heartbreak Gulch, like, he wants to protect this child,
Oh yeah.
but she's a kind of a piece of shit.
She's kind of a cunt,
she,
this
she,
baby.
she's a little shit. Um,
Like Minnie
Eddie
doesn't know
also,
who this is. Minnie does not have any respect for him.
yes.
Minnie is 13 and already, like, before everything happened, didn't care for authority figures. Now she really doesn't care for authority figures. And this is the ultimate authority figure. This is the guy in charge.
This is the guy in charge. And the fact that it's really the not knowing who he is and what he has done and like just like his whole thing that really gets Eddie pissed off, because like it's not only her attitude, it's the fact that he is realizing that children don't know who he is anymore. And that's really hard for him
Children don't
to
even
deal
know
with.
Pogs anymore.
Children don't know who Eddie Black Eyes is, and that's fucked up to him.
And granted, I think some of that is Minnie's family specifically. Like,
Oh yeah,
but also,
there's definitely like a lot of kids her age probably like have the cultural osmosis of knowing who Eddie is, but this is fucked up for him.
yeah.
He's being confronted with something horrible.
And she's so smug about it.
Yep, and she's really smug about it.
Yeah. And then like I imagine it's also like a self-fulfilling cycle too. Like she's a little bitch to him, he has a reaction, so she's like, oh, this is my fun new toy.
Oh, I can piss him off. And
This-
he's not going to do anything about it.
This is awesome. He just wants to do an empty threat once. Like obviously he's not gonna do anything. He would
Please.
never hurt this baby, but just to put her in her place, just once, just to make her scared.
Just let me dangle her off a cliff. It's fine.
Obviously he won't drop her. Obviously
I won't drop her.
he just wants her to think he will.
I just need respect.
I think the funniest part of it is the reason we started on this clip of the relationship is because this happened in The Sims.
We put all these guys in The Sims. We can't get into that.
That's
We
that's
put
a
all these
whole
guys in The
separate.
Sims.
That's functionally its own AU. But yeah, outside of our control, Eddie just kept beefing with this child, so we were like, "Fuck it, that's
Yep.
funny."
Yeah, that's pretty good. We'll do that.
I think we got White next. I just put in the same order as the main cast.
Hell yeah. Let's see that white girl.
Buck and White. I think this picture
They're awesome.
really sums it up.
Oh yeah.
They've exchanged maybe 10 words over the years that White has been there, and they have nothing but like the fondest feelings, the utmost respect for each other because of it.
Oh yeah.
They have the same kind of
That's like about it.
with their brains. Also, White caresses
Like what else
food.
what is there to say? Like what is there to say?
Make me a hot dog.
Make me a hot dog,
I want a buck
please.
style.
On a buck style hot dog.
That is their relationship. She harasses him for food, and that's the only words they exchange. They love each other.
Make me meat. I want some meat. Can I
just
have it?
just throw that shit in a pot for me.
That's awesome. Is that your house key? Can I have that?
Can I have anything?
Give it to me.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Davy and White is young enough that Davy could like be her dad, and he is hyper aware of that.
Leave me alone.
he he is seeing an unaccompanied child and going, "Oh God, I need to help her."
Get. Don't touch me.
Okay, but if you need anything,
No. She's independent. He is gonna stop her.
there.
Um,
White loves
I
to
don't
give
even.
Davy present of wet cigarette.
You just spit a. Hey, open your hand.
Hey, I got something for you. Put your hand out. Is it gonna be another chewed
You got
cigarette?
something.
No.
Close your eyes. You could be surprised.
Davy's an easy target for her, but also he is genuinely looking out. That's his shithead.
I love that she can. It's so easy for her to do the chewed up cigarette trick because she can't talk through her vocal cords.
Yep.
So she like talks. She talks through a vocoder, so she doesn't really have to move her mouth at all. So she's just like, I have something in my mouth. You know what it is? In your hand.
And like, let's be clear, he's aware of
It's
what
a
she's
bird.
doing. He sees her coming
Oh,
up
yeah.
to him, like, hold out your hand, and he's like, "You're gonna put something in your mouth into my hand. You're gonna hand me like a wet rock or a chewed cigarette or like a half dead bug." And every time he will still put out his
actively chewing on it.
hand. He will still let her
Yep.
do it every time.
Haha, I got you again, idiot. Haha.
He's just closing his eyes like, okay, that's great. Good job. You really got me.
Got your ass. Yeah.
Also, White knows everything about him. She's like the only person there that knows everything about Davy. He hasn't told her anything, but she knows.
She's extremely observant. She does it to the other breakers too. Like she's very dumb. She's a woman of little words. But she can read a person like nothing else.
She knows.
She figured out all of Davy's incredible backstory.
His backstory that you guys don't get to know.
She's like, "Hey man, you give off a vibe of a guy that," and then fill in the blank here. And he's like, "What the fuck?" Davy can't lie to save his life, so he can't even like refute it.
Yeah, Davy's lying is he just doesn't talk about it.
Yep. Confronted with it.
And she's forcing him to talk about it.
Do you like this? What I've made?
Your gene.
So yeah, that's their thing.
That's their thing. Minnie feels really normal about White.
Yeah.
You know, just normal. You know, older goth girl in town. That's fine. She doesn't have any particular thoughts about this.
Hey kid, there's a big termite mound right outside of town, and I have these firecrackers.
Hey, come see something
come
cool.
help me? You want to see something really cool?
White has an opportunity to become the shithead older brother, and she's taking it.
Oh yeah. Do you want to watch a violent movie with me?
I won't tell your dads.
You don't. I won't tell your dads. As long as you don't.
Oh, they're beautiful. Minnie will agree to anything this woman brings up.
And White saw that baby for like 3 minutes and was like, "That's gay.
Oh shit, a gay one.
That little creature is gay. I'm calling it."
I guess if she's cool, she can borrow some of my magazines.
Later.
Zeki is desperately keeping her in check, speaking of which.
Let's go to Zeki's relationship.
Oh, Zeki! Heartwarming, this python has befriended a hamster!
Oh, this python and a hamster are best friends.
I can't emphasize enough, and this is maybe my favorite relationship that has developed as we've played toys. Zeki loves Buck. Zeki adores him.
Zeki has the utmost respect for Buck.
He will do anything for Buck.
Here's the thing about Zeki. If he sees you as a figure for more than 2 seconds, he is kissing ass until he dies.
It's over
Zeki
for you.
Loves to be a kiss up. One may call him a teacher's pet, but don't call him that to his face. He's sensitive.
Don't. Please don't.
Please don't. Yeah. And Zeki was a very young man when he came to town, and he's like, "Oh, this is the sheriff. This is Eddie Ramirez. This is Black Eyes' man." Of course, that's an authority figure. So yeah.
And like, not only is Buck just by default an authority figure, Buck is also an older, gay, autistic, kinky man. That is a mentor.
And Zeki's like, "Oh yeah." And Zeki is gay, autistic, and kinky, so kindred spirit.
He is imprinted on this sad old man like a baby duck, and like we talked about Buck's whole breakdown, and like for his part, he gets back, Eddie talked with him, and Buck is like, "Okay, I misread this situation very badly. That's on me. I am going to try and not hold this against the boy and like have a reaction again." And he still a little bit is, because look at him, he's the world's most beautiful boy.
Yeah, there's still gonna be some like a little bit of aesthetic jealousy, a little bit of intimidation there.
Yeah, like Buck still very much like stands next to him and feels inferior, but he at least has the like self-awareness to be like, "That's my problem. Zeki didn't do that. Zeki didn't do anything wrong. Zeki is standing there." Oh, the music ended again. Please let me have my music. Please let me have my tunes.
And Zeki's like, "This is my best friend, Buck."
He is all in. He adores him. So yeah, Buck
is a very dear friend of mine.
Yeah. And like, if he says that, I don't know if Buck believes him. I think Buck is very surprised, but like, he's at least not like blowing up his life about it anymore. He's letting he's letting the boy stand next to him, and he's only sweating a little bit.
It's like the major thing is out of the way.
Yeah, that part's been resolved. He realized Zeki was just standing there.
Yep.
And I think the big thing with them now is that like sometimes the realities of who Buck is going to kind of come forward and slap Zeki in the face a little bit.
Yeah.
Like Zeki has his vision of Buck. This is his cool gay elder, and Buck is a very awkward man who is in the closet and hasn't done a lot of self-reflecting about it.
Yeah.
And that's maybe gonna be a bit much for Zeki, who one is desperately craving mentorship and two has had to deal with being not really able to be in the closet for most of his life.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, Zeki is just like he cannot hide being gay. Like he cannot get himself into the closet. He doesn't fit. He's too tall.
He's too tall.
He's too tall. Yeah, he's just like he's come to terms with the fact that he's going to be visibly gay his entire life. This, if you would believe it, this science fiction societal collapse dystopia still might be a little cruel towards gay people.
Mm-hmm.
Part of like him not fitting in anywhere and having to go to the Gulch is partially like because of his homosexuality. He couldn't really fit into the circles that he wanted to. So things were hard. And so, like, he kind of is a little bit envious of of somebody who is able to be in the closet.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's just really having a more unsafe time out in the Gulch.
Yeah.
Just being who he is, what he looks like, etc.
Etc. Yeah. Especially that, like, Buck is happily married to a man with a side piece and still closeted about it.
Yep. He gets a little frustrated. And then the very clearly gay baby.
And the gay baby.
That Buck is closeted too. Yeah.
Yep. Outside the closet a little bit, Davy like took 5 minutes to realize his first impressions were not correct. Davy got a really bad first impression, then met the boy and went, "Oh fuck, none of that was right." Not even a little.
Oh,
the only thing that was correct was that he was pretty.
Not even a little. Yup.
Yeah. So Davy's kind of
because
like,
again Zeki is seeing an authority figure and is like, I'm so nice.
yeah, I'm literally so nice. So yeah,
I'm literally nice.
he's literally nice. He's never done anything wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, Davy's really trying to give Zeki a second chance because he's like, okay, I had a really bad and very not accurate first impression. This is just a kid. I'm gonna let him be. I'm gonna be pleasant to him. I'm gonna be cordial. And there's a couple like complex things happening in their relationship. One, Davy is an aging otter. He's been through life. He's showing his age a little bit. He's got the crow's feet. His hairline's receding a little bit. He's a little bit scrawny. He's not the knockout he used to be. Zeki is aging like wine, and already started out as wine.
Hair is a big sticking point between these two.
Davy's a little, not unlike Buck, unfortunately. Around Zeki specifically, Davy's feeling a little bit of the envy happen.
Meanwhile, Zeki is fighting his genetics every goddamn day of his life.
Oh god, yeah. His hair is not naturally straight.
No.
This guy
has
has
very wavy hair.
Beautiful, thick, wavy hair.
He can grow a full beard.
Yup.
Grow a full beard if he wanted to. He doesn't want to. He doesn't like the feeling.
Can Davy grow a mustache?
Can Davy grow a better mustache? I think about that post often.
Oh, it's a winner.
So yeah. Yeah, I mean, Zeki, obviously, he's Arab. He has, like, a lot of hair.
Mm-hmm.
Great. He could grow a beard if he wanted to. He doesn't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Goth vampire poet aesthetic.
Yeah.
Um,
And that
just a gorgeous man.
Yep, and that does get at Davy a little bit. That like, if he could choose to look any way he wanted, he would probably look like how Zeki is actively choosing not to look, and that does eat at him a little bit.
Yeah.
And the other
If Zeki lets his hair be natural and he starts growing a beard, he sees his dad in the mirror and he doesn't want that.
Yeah, no, none of that, please.
He's fighting for his life. No, dad, please. Thank you.
Yeah. The other, like, speaking of Zeki's, like, authority figure thing, I feel like Davy's kind of an interesting case because, like, while he has a little bit of that authority figure, like, he didn't really enter the picture an authority figure. If anything, Zeki was, like, his doctor. He was almost like an authority figure over him.
Yep.
And, like, Davy's also, like, Davy's a very nurturing presence. He's goes out of his way to, like, listen to people and be generally cordial, even if he's a little bit of a bitch sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's kind of like a safe presence for Zeki in a way that some of the authority figures in the Gulch aren't. So he can experiment a little bit with Davy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he can be a little sassy. He can maybe flirt a little bit because he knows Davy's not ever going to make a move back. He's confident in that. And I think that just makes a weird vibe for Davy sometimes.
Yeah. Don't get it twisted. Zeki wants him.
Oh yeah, like that's a hot bisexual Latino man. Davy's a top.
Oh yes. Older man, you say? When there's older men at the function.
Zeki walking real fast in his heels to the Holy Spirit.
Please. Yeah, Zeki will flirt. He knows that nothing's gonna happen back, so he doesn't need to worry about the horrifying ordeal of being known.
Mm-hmm.
And then just kind of wants to be Davy's friend.
Mm-hmm. So it's just a little bit of a weird vibe. And, like, in time, they will both get over that and be genuine friends. It's just a little bit of, like, a vibe right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, listen.
Yeah,
they're the two fruits.
Strange. Oh, yeah.
The fruitcakes are going to unionize. Had to try so hard to say
I always think about the... I always think back to the exchange that we talked about where they're on a job together that's been like a few days. Zeki hasn't gotten to straighten his hair and he's like going a little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow and is like stressed out about it. He hates just like having the facial hair. And Davy snapping and going, "You're going to be 40 years old one day," at this young man, and Zeki, unaware of what's happening right now, is like, "Well, yes, I would hope so."
He's literally just standing there.
I would think I would be.
Hopefully more than that.
I'm planning on it.
Davy is like, I don't know if I mentioned, Davy is 46. He's like a few years younger than Buck, but he's rapidly approaching. Hang on, fuck everything, work harder, baby, yeah!
Tibbs is playing Delatro instead of being in our chat, by the way.
That's so fucked up.
So you should know.
But yeah, Davy's like less at the doorway of middle age compared to like Buck, and like obviously Eddie is eternally beautiful middle-aged man, but he's 83. so Davy's the most like midlife crisis of the three.
Eddie's been having a midlife crisis for 40 years.
Yup. But
I'm gonna spray something out my window really quick.
Good to do this. Yeah, the beautiful twink is not helping the midlife crisis part of Davy's life.
No.
They'll They'll get there. David will reassert his confidence in himself, and Zeki will be Zeki.
Zeki will be Zeki.
Zeki will keep having Zeki.
That's the thing about Zeki. He's gonna be Zeki.
Zeki's gonna be Zeki's
he
whole
can't
life.
change.
Oh,
he sure is.
Should we talk about the baby?
Oh, they're so cute. I love them.
Zeki loves the baby, and the baby loves Zeki.
Zeki legitimately loves kids. Like he probably doesn't want to like be taking care of one right now at this point in his life.
He's not.
But if there is a kid that is like asking him questions about something, he's like, "Fuck yes, dude." He sees a child and he's just like, "I want to show Bugs to that. They're gonna love it." He just really likes kids.
And Minnie is like
he has
kid for him.
He has a lot of opinions on the. Yes. He has a lot of opinions about like the way that he was raised, and how he didn't like it. So he's one of those people that like knows like if you treat a child as like your peer, like you get a lot further with them, and they like you a lot. So he just treats her like a peer.
Yeah, and that's like exactly
while
what
tutoring
Minnie
her.
wants. So she loves that. Like that is exactly what she has been seeking out in like a mentor.
Oh yeah. And he's just like, fuck yes, something to do.
So like he starts basically tutoring her when she comes to the Gulch, because it's like, oh my god, we can't just let this baby run around unsupervised all day while we're doing crime. Zeki has books. You gotta teach children, right? Zeki could do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like we mentioned, Minnie's a very smart
They probably
kid.
got some course books for her.
Yeah. Like she's very smart. She's very intellectually curious. So like Zeki like approaching her on her level and like probably essentially like letting her like study what she wants to study and like answering her questions in a very like straightforward like peer-to-peer way. Like she responds really well to that.
Oh yeah.
That's her cool goth teacher. Did you know teachers can be goth? Did you know teachers can be gay?
Did you know teachers can be gay? I have a gay teacher. I bet you're jealous.
She comes up and says
Did
that
you
to
ever have a gay
Buck and he
teacher?
almost passes out. But yeah, they are adorable.
I think that like he doesn't even have to mention being gay. She's just like, that's him. He's gay. I'm pretty sure Mr. Zeki is gay.
I think Mr. Zeki might like boys.
I think just straight up asking him, "Are you gay?" And he's like, "Well, yes."
That is absolutely how it goes.
Most people here are.
She's just squinting at him when he says that, like, even the horse?
Yeah, is there a problem?